What is up, everyone in the YouTube world? Casey, how the hell are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. It's Friday, so it's always the best day of the week. So,
right.
yeah.
I was just making sure. I'm sorry. I was just making sure the mic was working. Sorry,
No, you're fine. I hear you loud and clear. Sorry for everyone that's out there listening. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but sounds like we're good now.
Yes.
But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Happy Friday. Last time we all streamed, I know it's been a while. Like Casey said, we basically started World War III, so we figured, what the hell, we could see what more damage we can create, I guess.
We can start the space wars. We really could bring the asteroid. I'm telling you, the last time we streamed, the next morning was crazy when I saw attack in Israel. I was like, oh my God, we were like just talking about these kind of things.
I know. It's like, why couldn't that happen a day before? It would give us so much to talk about on stream. And it always, every time that happens, whether it's by normal channel stream or this, it's like some things will pop off. And then all of a sudden, right after, like more topics, I'm like, damn it, now I got to wait like a week to talk about it again.
I know. And I mean, that was huge. That was huge. Like, and I think what's even more huge about it is the way how people in America are acting about it. Like, conservatives have absolutely lost their mind. Big conservative, big con. That's what we call them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting getting on the topic of that, just kind of how everyone. It's very funny to me. What I've noticed is, with the whole COVID stuff and everything, everyone's, we can't listen to the government anymore.
Yeah.
They're all liars. They lie about everything, blah, blah, blah. And then now this new topic, and everyone's forgotten what we just went through, because it's like it's literally just like that day in September all over again, but for another country. And, we talked about this before, where the country where all that took place, which, again, I don't want to say too much because how YouTube is, they were on the brink of civil war. They were on the brink of, like, their own people overthrowing their government because of the COVID restrictions and lockdowns. And then all of a sudden that happened, the most, like, secure place in the world, observed borders in the world, and they just kind of walk on in, no big deal. And they're like, the stand down order was apparent. Like, it's crazy, man. And then we got to question it, right? Considering what just went on, we got to question everything.
Well, you know what? And just speaking of, I'm trying to look for it, because when everything happened, I started, me, I got right on my actually that actual day, I went on, I did a quick live on YouTube, because it was like all day you were hearing things and everything. So I was like, yo, let me just run up on YouTube real quick for an hour and see where this was going, because I knew the minute that this happened, I was like, they're going to start with Iran. The minute it happened, I said, they're going to start with Iran. So let me see. And they did. And, but I had like all this like footage and information that I've been taking in for the past like month or whatever. But the funny part is, like, even I'm trying to find it, but if you ask a question like Charlie Kirk did on the PBD podcast, the famous A word, like,
yeah.
And of all people, Charlie Kirk was getting labeled with that name. I was like, Charlie Kirk, really? The one who like praises Israel, like sends people there for free, everything, like does everything, been at the wall and everything. And just because he asked what happened with Netanyahu, and now
you're not allowed to ask questions about anything. And that's just because of my nature. Whenever someone tells me basically you can't do something, I'm more of like, well, and it's very like Tucker Carlson, like, why? Okay, well, if you're telling me I can't ask, then now I want to ask even more. Now I want to ask more questions, because if you left it alone, I wouldn't be that interested about it. But now that you're making a big deal about it, it's like, well, there's always a reason. There's a reason why I can't say that. Like, why can't I at least ask the question? Is it that big of a deal? So it's, it just, again, based on everything that we've went through the past couple years with the whole world, not even just us, everybody should be asking questions. Everybody should be holding their government officials to some type of standard. and
Yeah.
make sure that they're walking the line.
Yep. Yeah, you should. And that's what I was saying. And I knew this would happen one day. I just didn't expect it to happen so fast. Now I sent you like a link, but if you go on Twitter and you just put in Charlie Kirk anti-Semitism, and like a bunch of stuff pops up. And this is simply because, like, all right, that's one thing where he was just, this is where he's talking about, like, Jewish dollars really fun Marxism and stuff like that, and that they shouldn't be funding things that hate them, right? That's all
Hmm.
he was saying. But look at the name that already, like, this person is saying that he's escalating. If you take his name and you put it with that label, you'll see all of this stuff start coming up of all the people. Like, it's Charlie Kirk. Like, that is insane to me that that's who they're calling that word. And you should be able to ask questions. Like you said, after the last 3 years or 4 years, or even the last 20 years, I mean, we were just in a forever war, right?
Yeah.
Because of weapons of mass destruction. We know what these people do to capture us, to make us say, yes, let's go ahead and sacrifice young men and women, young American men and women, or break them and then send them back home, you know, and they know what to do. And we're falling for it again.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, look at, that day in September, right? Why were
Mhm.
we there? What was the whole objective while we were there? And then we come to find out, well, actually, the people that perpetrated it were Saudis. Okay, well, why aren't we in Saudi Arabia? Oh, well, no, we can't do that. We got to go after Osama bin Laden. Well, he's in Pakistan, so why aren't we going over there? Well, we can't do that. We got to go to Afghanistan. We got to go there. Why? But why are we in Iraq now? What does
Right.
Iraq have to do with it? Well, he's got what? It's always something. It's all bullshit,
It is.
And if you ask, imagine, because you were old enough when 9/11 popped off, and I was naive enough to be that, kind of like our Pearl Harbor, right? Like everyone was like rallying behind, like, yeah, everyone was pro America. Everyone was like, hey, let's go,
Yep.
let's destroy whatever country this was. If anybody, I will admit this, if anybody at that moment in time came to me and was like, why are we doing this? I would be saying the same exact thing. I'm not going to lie, because I know for a fact I was brainwashed and I was super patriotic, and I was like, which I still love my country, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I was completely like on board with the, hey, we're going to do this because this is the right thing to do. And now looking back, it's crazy being kind of, awake and realizing, like, yeah, we should have been asking questions. We should have been, oh, wait, you're telling me we had, intelligence knowing that this was going to happen and this was
Yeah.
going to occur,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And how did that, like, still happen? And that was in 2001, right? And so you would think 20 years later you should be able to ask the same questions. The questions, actually, there were people who were asking those questions, and they were like, they were labeled like hippies and all kinds of craziness or whatever.
Traitors, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and
And
like, go ahead.
no, I was going to say that's what they always do. I mean, even now, if you're asking these questions, like, look at what this rounds right up to what you're talking about in this video, the link that you sent me right here. You know,
I'll
he
find the
just
other one.
he just called out honestly factual things, because if you look through history, cultural Marxist ideas have come from that their money.
Yeah,
And
Karl
that's
Marx was. Yeah, it's okay to say.
Karl
Yeah,
Marx, yeah. And
yeah,
that was, we're talking years ago. This is history. This isn't like just now. I'm talking historically known factual things. Soviet
yeah.
Union, all that, like, was this. This is where all this came from and originated from. But if you talk about it and you point it out, what does that sound like to you? This reminds me of exactly the leftist stuff, because just
Right,
like BLM, right? You call out
right.
BLM, what do they say? Oh, you're an ist, you're a phobe. You make it's the same blueprint, the same game plan for everything that is trying to push some crazy ideology, and all you're doing is asking questions. Whether it's the garbage nonsense in pop culture, whether it's the garbage stuff that's going on in our government, you ask the questions, and you're automatically labeled by the leftists an istophobe. And what do you know? This is falling in the same goddamn line. So
Exactly. And I sent you now the clip of Charlie Kirk asking the appropriate question. And
Oh, I remember
yeah,
this.
oh my God, they almost took his whole. You could play it. You might, so we could just like, you
Yeah,
know.
let me zoom out real quick so people could see the whole. All right.
Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is. Yeah. And you're trying to tell me that they're going to concerts and kibbutzes and schools and by report in Israel.
So, and that's, I mean, think about that, right? Think about that logic. And we're not allowed to ask a question.
Right. Right. Like you can't even, and when I remember when this came out, I was like, damn. I mean, he's giving real information. He's been out there. He's seen it is a fortress. Like you can't get anything through there. Like, yes, the whole country is IDF. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like, oh, volunteer. You can volunteer to go to the army over there, like how we do over here. You know, let's put some ads out and hopefully people come. No, like that. This is what you do over there because they understand what position they're in.
Mm-hmm.
They live there, so they figure everybody has to be ready for an attack, right? And so on your holy day, wouldn't you be even more ready, especially when this happened 50 years before? So he's asking all the right questions. Yo, that day they were like, "Oh, we got a problem with Charlie Kirk." They started calling him anti-Semite and everything. I was like, are you guys serious? Like, as much as I make fun of this guy for, you know what I mean? For like as much as he is, y'all got some nerve to really like call him that. I was like, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. You know, we see that with him, and then we also see this going on with the New York mayor. I thought I say, did you hear about all that? What's going on?
Yo, yeah. Yo, Mossad is all upside down. Yup. You got it. I think I saved it.
Well, I thought I saved it, the actual video in reference to, because he basically, I'm trying to look for the video now. If you have it, let me know where. And I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about. The video where he's saying he was at like some type of meeting and it was televised, and he said, you know, they are the ones causing this problem. And this podcast is like, whoa, this is the first time we've ever heard someone say they. Like, what's they? Who's they? Who are they? And now all of a sudden, like hours later, now he's being looked into, and the FBI. So I have here. I'll share this tab. I'll find the video here in just a second. Let me look for it first. Hang on. But this came out. It says FBI has seized New York City Mayor Eric Adams' phones relating to a federal corruption investigation. The investigation is reportedly looking into whether his campaign conspired with the Turkish government.
What?
And this is all couple days. This happened today, mind you, all this information.
Yeah.
But him talking out loud saying they was literally like a couple days ago.
My God, I wish you could find that.
I'm going to find it because I saw this earlier and I thought I saved it. Of course I didn't, because I'm an idiot. But oh, here it is.
You found it. All right, bet.
I'm pretty sure this is what it is. So I'm gonna. So it says here, really quick before I play this, Mayor Eric, which mind you, I can't stand him. By the way, he's obviously a leftist lunatic.
Right.
Yeah. Mayor Eric Adams made the fatal mistake of speaking the truth against the cabal. FBI pulled up today in New York City and asked his security detail to step aside and made him enter one of their black vans. They took his devices. Word is he is working with Turkey. Convenient. Who knows? So listen to this 2-minute clip here.
Support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Mm-hmm. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We had a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted. All of us. And so I say to you, as I turn it over to you, this is some of the most educated, some of the most knowledgeable, probably more of my commissioners and deputy commissioners and chiefs live in this community. So as you ask me a question about migrants, tell me what role you played. How many of you organized to stop what they're doing to us?
They.
How many of you were part of the movement to say, we're seeing what this mayor is trying to do and they're destroying New York City? It's going to come to your neighborhoods. All of us are going to be impacted by this. I said it last.
I mean, did you notice what he said? Like that, he's not talking about they as in migrants. He's talking about they, the people in charge that are making all this happen.
Right. And that's the thing. He was, but I had seen this footage and I noticed that he was speaking out against like the Biden administration and everything. Is it Eric Adams' whole situation in the past like 3 weeks? Okay, maybe a little bit before 3 weeks, because it's already been a month since the attack, and I'm going to connect all of this, right? The guy's been very weird to me for a little bit, okay? This actually is old, but he made this speech. I remember this. And then a week later, he went to Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he came back, and I swear, and I know somebody watching is going to be like, boy, you just blame everything on Israel. I don't care. He came back and he said, we need to keep our borders open. There's nothing wrong with the border. Like, it was almost like a 180. You could see in his face when he said it. I think I covered this on one of my lives or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it in his face where he just said it like, there's nothing wrong with our border. Like, we must keep the borders open. And I'm like, freak, like who told him to switch up like that? Because you don't go from telling this whole true and genuine speech about what's happening to New York, okay, to all of a sudden, no, let's just keep the borders open. It was to me zombie-like, you know?
It's crazy. And here's the thing, right? Like, he spoke out against the government. He's been doing it openly, and now all of a sudden, ironically and magically, he's getting raided by the FBI. Yeah. He's got ties to international government. Like, what does the mayor of New York City have anything to do with? Like, that is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. And, I mean, nobody is and that's the thing. With everything going on in Israel and all that, no one's paying attention to this stuff in reality. Like, we're all seeing it, but no one's really, well, it's just another thing. It's just another thing. It's just another thing. Eventually, like he's saying, tens of thousands of people are invading New York City. I mean, to me, there's only a couple. There's a handful of reasons that this is happening, but we have an election coming up,
Right.
and I think that is the only thing and the only reason, because they can't falsify anything. I can't. I gotta watch what I say. They can't make up stuff if they don't have the numbers to justify the falsification of it. So you have to increase the population as much as humanly possible to find more of those things under tables at 3 a.m. in the morning when a water pipe bursts, And that's part of it, I think. I think the other part is now, as we talked about, I think on the last stream, where they're saying, oh, you're illegal? Oh, you want to serve in the military? Come on in.
Yeah.
You want to be a cop? Come on down. Because guess what? And that's one thing I've always had the argument about people, like the Second Amendment. They're like, you think our own troops are going to turn on us? Do you think our police are really going to do that stuff? Honestly, yes. But they definitely will if they're not from this country.
Yeah, absolutely. They
don't
care.
have anything to lose. Yeah, they want a paycheck and they want to be taken care of, and they're used to their government doing it already in their country. Right. This is standard operating procedure for them. They're just like, oh, I'm on the team now. Great, cool.
Right. Like, because during COVID, I remember when they would like stay home, right? And I was like, this is absolutely insane, especially as a nurse. I was like, there's no such thing as stay home. This is not how you deal with a virus, da-da-da. But I had coworkers of mine who were from like other countries, like Jamaica and everything. And they were like, oh, Americans are so spoiled. They told y'all to stay home. You should just stay home. And I had to turn around and be like, no, but the government can't tell you to stay in your house. That doesn't make any sense, number one. Number two, we all know that this isn't what kills a virus, okay? And so you see, like, we are, it's not spoiled, but we are indignant at times, like, yo, you can't tell us to do this, right? The problem is, though, now, like, but they purged so many true patriotic Americans from the infrastructure, from these institutions such as police, the army, nursing, all that. So now you get a bunch of yes men in there, and then just wait 5 years from now to be somebody who doesn't speak English that'll be arresting people. Can you imagine that? This is really, this is crazy. And this makes me hate the Republican Party so much as I call myself a Republican. It makes me. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you're cutting out a little bit, but
am I? Oh, God, am I good now?
There you go. Now you're good. Now you're good.
Today. But yeah, it makes me despise Republicans because it just makes me so mad. Like, all right, even with Eric Adams, like he couldn't take it no more. He was saying all this stuff. Then he tried to hurry up and shut up because you noticed he wasn't talking about the border as much anymore. But it's too late now. They're after him. It's over for Eric Adams. Or
oh yeah, he's done.
Or maybe they do this and they say, you see, we don't play around. All right?
Oh no. I personally think that he's done. He's now, because this guy, if they're not on their team 100%, right? And I'm gonna segue into something in 2 seconds because this is perfect timing. If you're not on their team 100%, and he's a Democrat. That's what's worse. He's not even a Republican that's on their team. Because I don't even listen. It's just labels. At the end of the day, they may wear different jerseys, but they're all paid by the same guy, right? All of them. So I don't even. It's not even Republican, Democrat anymore. It's at this point, it's right or wrong. That's to me, I'm gonna keep it all the way funky, and this isn't gonna get the channel or whatever. Like I've been saying certain things on my channel. I mean, it's just the truth. They're all paid by AIPAC. They are at least 95% of them. They're paid by the American-Israeli partnership or something or whatever coalition. The biggest lobbyists in our country. Okay, the biggest lobbyists, the biggest donors, and everybody gets the money from them, except for maybe like I said, 5% of them that don't. Thomas Massey does not get paid by these people, and you can tell. Do you see he's stepping down?
What?
Yeah,
Thomas Massey.
I'm pretty sure.
It's not the other guy, Joe Manchin. You sure it's not Joe Manchin?
I'm thinking Joe Manchin.
Yeah, because if you would have told me that, I would have been like
Joe Manchin. I'm sorry, my bad. I just made you have a heart attack. No, Thomas Massey. You're right. He's the real deal. Now,
he is.
Did you see this though? And I'm gonna
this guy. Yeah.
Mike Johnson, this clown. This paid,
Absolute clown.
yeah. Everyone was like, oh, they were all excited about that. And on Mike Johnson on President Biden impeachment inquiry. There is insufficient evidence at the moment to initiate a formal impeachment proceeding. Another paid clown.
Another
So,
paid APAC clown. Yes, I'm going. What is up, Cult Classic Cage? Thank you for coming through. And everybody who is watching, please don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you. So, again, APAC is his number one donor. Okay. Yes, I'm going to continuously go back to that. I am, because we need to understand how these things work. It makes sense to me now. Now that
they
I know
always
that,
say, follow the money.
yeah.
Follow the money.
And now that I know, it's like, okay, now I really can see where things are going. You know, I don't waste my time with false hopes. I don't. These people are sick. They make me so angry. They really do. He came in and did exactly what I expected, that he was going to give it, make sure Israel got their money first. And Ukraine is going to get money too. And our borders will stay open. And now we're not going to impeach Joe Biden. There's a treason happening in this country. We have invaders coming in every second. They laugh, they scream, they say, thank you, God, they made it through. A bunch of invaders. And nobody's doing anything about this. But they're protecting other people's borders. Wow.
Well, it's all by design. And they learned a long time ago that the only way they were going to defeat our country was from the inside out. And that's how they're doing it. Just like, who was it? It was on Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast recently. And I don't know if you heard his clip, but basically he was talking about George Soros. And he said that that's the way he learned how to manipulate the system was you don't need to buy out like the actual president of the United States. All you got to do is buy out all the judges and buy all these people out because they're the ones that run the rule of law. And if you own all of them, you could write whatever laws you want, but if they're not enforced and they're not pushed correctly, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with our country, and that's where you run into these loopholes, right? Like, oh, we're supposed to be a democratic type of way, but when the system is essentially rigged, well, then what do? Right? You have to you have to step in and remove these people, and if you don't, well, it's going to be too late. And I feel like it already is, to be quite honest with you. But
what it would take is for the regular folk like we the people to actually go in the government and change out the government. I mean, this is insane. Like, this is not even a conspiracy theory anymore, the stuff that we're seeing. I mean, the connections are absolutely atrocious. Like, they really are. And this is a world. So yeah, go ahead. Oh, this was Vex Electronica who put this up. And so
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I want, because you mentioned earlier about like the COVID stuff, right? And the lockdowns and what they were doing. Well, this is pretty interesting. So Vex Electronica, you obviously know of her, great gal, YouTuber and all that. Go check out her channel if you guys are watching. But it says here, despite filing for a court date and never receiving one, Ontario decided to convict me for failure to comply with COVID procedures 19 months later. Anyone know any lawyers of Ontario? So she says further on in the thread that essentially, here, I'll just try to find it. It says, because they ask what happened exactly, and she came through the border. I can't find it. So basically, she came back through the border, and she didn't have like the shot. So they hit her with this. Now, if you actually look at this fine, if you could see the detail, I don't know how easy. First off, it says $6,200 by the 17th of November.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just go in my back pocket and reach out.
Yeah, let me just pull that out there real quick. And it says, serious legal actions may result if you do not pay your fine on time. Pay your fine now, or before I do that, pay your fine now, or you may lose your driver's license, your possessions may be seized, or your employer may be ordered to garnish your wages. Serious legal consequences may result if you do not pay your fine on time, loss of your driver's license and license reinstatement fee, an order for your employer to garnish your wages, property seizure by enforcement officials, registration of a lien, possession of your property until the debt is paid, an order for your bank to remove the owed funds from your account, refusal to validate your vehicle permit or issue a vehicle permit, downgrading of your credit score by the credit bureau, formal collection proceedings via private collection agency, and additional administrative monetary charges, costs, and surcharges. All because she did not have that shit up to date.
This is crazy. And I don't know how things work in Canada. So it's not looking good. This is bad. This is insane. This is like, welcome to, like, this is despotic. I don't even know words to use. Like, this is crazy.
This is communism. That's what
Yes.
this is. This is exactly, we are going to break you if you don't follow. It's like, yeah, you know what? We are going to, and that's the thing. This is how the government uses other entities to get you, right? Because like the government's going to use the banks. So that's why, and again, this is why they want to go cashless, right? If you have no cash,
right,
or if everything's controlled by the bank, they'll shut it all off. Oh, you don't want to pay your fines? Here you go.
Right.
Did you hear about, because you're a big fan of Thomas Massey, he was trying to kill the kill switch on the new vehicles?
Oh, the kill switch. Yeah.
How,
and Republicans voted for it.
Of course they did, because they're all on the same team. Because they're not really Republicans. They are all in bed with and I really hope people are waking up and seeing this. I don't think they are. I think there's a lot of stupid people out there still, unfortunately.
Because the opposition themselves, again, it goes back to this again. The minute you wave that flag, that blue and white flag in front of them, they become like Pavlov's dogs, right? Like it is absolutely bizarre to watch it. Like, it is bizarre. Like, no questions asked, like, whatever, we'll just do it. So now you have so if you come and you tell people, again, there's a ideology that has taken over our government, okay? And we need to break and decouple from it. They will call you crazy before they even think about it. So, and this is the opposition, because I can't go to Democrats and say that, because Democrats are still thinking that men and women are the same thing, so I'm trying to go to the intellectuals and say that, and they're busy sucking some white and blue dick.
Okay. But so this is the only positive stuff of this right here, is that when the leftists or even the people start waking up and getting things like this, maybe something like this will wake them up when you don't comply, right? And this type of thing happens, because this is the only way that it might wake people up. I don't know. I really hope she's able to fight this and work this, because this is insane. But it's just insanity to me. And here's the thing. Listen, you don't, and I actually retweeted this. I was like, you don't think this is going to happen here? Oh, this is going to absolutely happen here.
Yeah.
Huh?
They already got the laws in place to do this shit. They already have it.
I know. And that's the thing. Everyone's paying attention to what's going on overseas. You still have, the World Economic Forum and WHO, the HWO or WHO. Right. They're still passing their emergency, pandemic laws, basically saying like, what we say go, and everyone's signing up for it. So if they deem another pandemic, guess what? If they say everyone needs a lockdown, the United States will say, yep, okay, cool, that's what you say, and we listen to what you say, so there you go. And this is how we're losing all of our freedom while we sleep, because we're paying attention to...
It's not even just paying attention to over there too, but it's also because people, people just want to, because you can multitask, but people just, I don't know, man, like everybody, what I'm seriously like, I don't have a huge platform yet, right? But something has to give. You have these people with big platforms and they talk about this stuff a little bit, but it all goes into the same echo chamber and then they move on. No, where's the people to actually like protest? And I have to be careful what I say on YouTube. Okay, we disavow violence, right? We disavow. But last weekend, you see the left has a fire to them, though, that I'm not saying we need to be silly like the left, but they bring the ruckus. Sometimes you need a little ruckus. You need a little ruckus. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
And
I
I
mean,
don't know.
1776 wasn't, that wasn't that wasn't, we sat down and had a formal conversation, and that's the thing, is that these people today that run our country call the founders of our country and how it was founded terrorists.
Yeah,
And that's what they were looked at in the eyes of England and Great Britain. They considered them terrorists.
mhm,
Well, that's how we founded our country. So
exactly.
to call the people that were the founders terrorists, well, it is what it is. I mean, in all reality, everything going on overseas, I don't give a shit. I don't have a side. I don't care. Melt yourselves for all I care. I don't give two shits. Don't care.
Right.
I have no, honestly, both sides, everyone here in the United States, if you're out on the street and you're protesting either side, get the fuck out of here, is my opinion. Pack up and go. Get out. I'm worried about what goes on here. I don't care what goes on there. It's none of my problem. I know there's some people who are like, oh, you're an isolationist, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, look what's going on here. No one else cares about the world, but we are supposed to. No, we are drowning. We have to worry about what's going on in our own backyards, because before you know it, we won't have a backyard anymore to even worry about.
And that's the thing. You're right. We are drowning. I like that you said that, because that's what I say in my videos. And the reason why, though, still, even I'm not saying that anybody needs to pick a side or anything, but I'll tell you this: please cease fire. You know why? Because we are implicated in this. Our national security is at risk again. Like, these people are insane, and so while they're beating us down with spears, at home, and then they're getting involved in things all the way over there, that causes problems for who? The citizens. We're always paying for their stuff, and this stuff is planned. And the other thing too about even saying like I said it earlier today, the reason I research this thing and I'm breaking it down, but it's not even a thing where like, oh, I want to be on the right side of it. It's not even about that. It is about the fact that they're playing people like suckers. This is something that was planned long ago for a land grab. It simply was. But the problem is where America always falls in the diplomatic state. God, I miss Donald. This is when I really miss Donald Trump. I do. Because we weren't in these situations. We weren't having our national security being placed at risk in all kinds of different areas. You think it's not even just over, like, let's even forget Israel, Palestine. Look at Ukraine. We sat there and said, everybody, okay, go ahead, Ukraine. Here's some weapons. Go to war with Russia. We got your back, way back, right? Do you know how many Ukrainians have lost their lives based on this thought of to the last Ukrainian, from warmongers like Lindsey Graham, right? To the last Ukrainian. What do you think that makes over there in Ukraine? What do you think comes out of that now looks at America as a problem? We go to other countries and we keep making terrorists. I don't want to pay for that shit. Because I had nothing to do with that,
There was a meme that I saw earlier. Let me try to find it. And it's sad because, I absolutely, like today's the Marine Corps' birthday, right? Like, I love that I served in the Marine Corps. I love, the actual.
Sorry, real quick, just not to cut you. I'm not talking about the soldier who is
of course
doing what he's supposed to do. I'm talking about the sick establishment that sacrifices the soldier for their sick gains. But go ahead.
Oh no, I 100%. I know that too, right? I mean, it's like I'm proud of what I did, but still, it's like I'm proud, or like it's embarrassing what our What's up, buddy? No, but I'm the same way. It's like it's embarrassing what they've done, and this is a really funny meme that I saw. So and this is perfect because I mentioned this earlier. 2001, USA is the great Satan. We're like, LOL. Okay. Today, USA is the great Satan. Yes, we are, and it's like it's sad that it's like this is what we do, right? We go and we have created all of this this disaster and destruction all over the world. And obviously, I don't believe it's everybody in the government. It can't be. It's not. But it's the deep state. It's the people that are really running the show. I think there are good generals in there that want to do, that like see what's going on, and they can't, you can't do anything like a coup. You can't do that. You can't just,
And
but they want to.
I tell you this, there's a homie on, I'm calling him a homie, but he's not like my friend. I do not know this guy, but his name is Dark Horse. He has a channel on YouTube. Very, very informative guy. Y'all probably should check him out. I don't know. I kind of actually want to see if I can get him to come on my channel, but he is an ex, I think, was it Marine or Navy, right? But he joined because, he wanted to serve his country the whole bit, and he was into it. Really, young guy, smart, healthy guy. And then the whole jab thing happened, and they, they treated them so bad. He actually has this video where he talks about it and everything. So he's like talk about stuff, and like when he's talking about it, you could see the disappointment in his face. The video that he's showing, how they were talking to them, because they were like, but it's against our religion to take these vaccines because he's a Catholic. A lot of them there were Catholics and stuff, and they were like, yeah. And then of course there's always a black man. Just God. I'll tell you something about black folk, man. They will sell their own culture out for $10 and a fix, for real. And they've done it already. Like in history, they've already done it. And I gotta keep it real. The things that you see happen to black people, they're doing it now to the rest of the country. So people should really take that as an example. But anyway, then you just hear some black guy like, but Jesus said you got the such and such to save the people. So take it was just some sick way that they were talking to these soldiers, And then in the end, guess what? They kicked him out anyway. And he's so disaffected for it. And I'm like, how many of y'all did they kick? Like, they kicked out the people who were ready to fight for this country and uphold the Constitution.
Well, that's what they want.
We're right back to that conversation again, like earlier. Like, yeah, that's what they want. Yeah.
Exactly. 100%. That is the absolute purpose of it. They don't want you to fight for the Constitution. They want you to fight for the overlords of people running the government, not the Constitution, not the piece of paper, not for the people, not for our rights. They want you to fight for what they say. And if you're not a little drone and you're not going to go along with the program, they want you out. They basically want to break you down and kind of kill your patriotism for your country, because if you don't love it, you're not going to fight for it. And I may not fight for it for the government, but I'm still going to fight for what I love.
Right.
And look who it is.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, look who it is.
What's up?
What's going on, buddy? How's it going?
It's going good. I'm pretty tired, but
man,
I thought I'd come hang out for a little while. I don't know what y'all are talking about, but I'm here.
Well, we were talking about just kind of the state of things right now and just how the world's imploding, and we haven't gotten to any of that topics that like the thumbnail and everything yet. We've kind of just been talking about just the entire state of things in general, and just where everyone's blinded by the current events of going on in the world, and we're not, we went through 2 years of all the nonsense of being kind of lied to, and everyone understands that now the government lies, but then all of a sudden this stuff kicks off overseas, and everyone's like, oh no, we gotta believe the government again, and it's like, what are you,
it's like, oh, we didn't have any money, but now we have it now. Like,
let's stay focused, guys.
The government and the media. Like, I was telling Casey and some other people the other day, like I was at dinner with somebody who was like very successful, and this is like such a common theme, like among successful people. Like, I mentioned the war with between Palestine and Israel, and he was like, oh, there's a war. Like, the people who are really like successful in life, they don't even pay attention to this shit. Like, they understand it's all probably manipulation. Is there really a point in trying to like actually sift through and see what's good info, what's not? Or is it better to just live and live and understand that it's happening? I mean, it's good to be informed and everything, but it's kind of hard to be informed in the climate that we exist in.
Well, and I would imagine too, depending on how successful they are, they're probably not on Twitter a lot. And they're not watching TV because I don't know where I heard this from. I think it was on a podcast somewhere, and they were saying they were talking to like Lamborghini or Ferrari or whatever, and they were like, "How come you never have commercials? You know, for you're right. I'm sure you've heard this." And they go, "We don't sell to people that would be watching TV.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like the people buying that shit is not watching
Exactly.
TV. So
Waste of money.
yeah, it would be like, come on. Do you really even need to advertise that anyway? But
real quick, Matt, before, well, yeah, no, and I'm gonna be clear, like, but y'all know I geek. First of all, like this stuff that I do geek out on and stuff, but
I think
but
everybody
it-
has their stuff though. Like I'm sitting on Sunday, I'm watching football all day. Like everybody has their fix.
oh yeah,
and then I bring it to the channel and everything, and I'm still trying to like somehow morph my channel into like geopolitical and politics and everything. But but it's just how it all ties. Man, after they lied to me in 2020, I think it just did something to me where I'm like, nope, y'all not doing this again. People need to know the truth. I'm not saying stop your life. Still do you. Take care of you first. That's the only way, right? Take care of your family. Focus on your family. Make your family great or make you great. Because the more of us that do this, actually, we could actually fight back and push back to the nonsense that's going on. Because you got people out here who are so gone that you don't even have enough of we the people to make something happen. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So yeah, but real quick though, before you segue into something else, I put this YouTube clip in the private chat.
Oh, I have it up.
Huh?
I have it pulled up.
Yeah. Just listen to him for 1 minute. And this is why I say they're playing when people get emotional about these wars and everything else. Like, trust me, this is really bad what's happening. Don't get me wrong. But we are being played like suckers. Like, and it's just crazy. But yeah.
Well, and I'm going to play this, because I have heard this, so I know exactly what. Yeah, so I know exactly what this is going to say. But I will say this too: it's not just now. If you pay attention and you go back and you read up on history, all of this stuff has been planned and plotted, and all of it, and it's all for a purpose. I'm talking as far back as World War I. I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, but if you look at
you're not.
and you see what's going on, like the world banks, all that stuff, it all ties together, and there's always a reason. Vietnam, everything, every single one of them, all these conflicts. It's not coincidental that we just kept,
My question is, like, if we know that that's the case, like, why are we worried about it? Like, why are we talking about it all the time?
What do you mean we? As in, like,
I want people to get mad.
I'm saying like the entire world. Like, why? Like, I don't know if that's common knowledge, but I think a lot of people in this space know that this is all planned and they're feeding us propaganda for a specific reason. Like, why are we so obsessed with it still? Like, why? It would be like if we were just obsessed and like scared of like a TV show that's happening. Like, we saw a TV show and people were getting bombed and there's wars happening in the TV show and we're like scared, like living our lives scared, talking about it all the time. Why don't we just recognize that this is all just a stage and it's fake? We just go about our lives,
I think because while we in our stage fakeness though, like I don't know, man. People, you think that people are aware, but it's like people aren't aware. Like, and something need to make people mad because it doesn't have to stay like this. It doesn't.
The purpose is to manipulate and to control with other reasons, right? It's all a facade up front while they're doing things in the background. Like, there's always reasoning behind these wars that they can't openly, blatantly say, hey, we're trying to start a world bank and we're going to kill your money. Like, they can't openly say that stuff. So they're going to use these catastrophes or these giant operations. Like, for example, I mean, we can talk about World War II and the real purpose of World War II and General Patton, look at a lot of his quotes, right? At the end of the war, he was like, I think we fought the wrong guys, everyone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we got to be ready for the next war because the bad guys were actually on our side. Like, and then he magically got killed in a car accident, which, But all right, let me play this real quick.
10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, we've made the decision we're going to war with Iraq. This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do.
Real quick, I guess. Do you hear these fucking maniacs laughing? 1 million Iraqis died. And like countless Marines and Army men literally died for no reason. And this shit's a fucking laugh track.
It's not funny.
Absolutely.
I'm laughing because how you saying it, but you're right. Yeah, that's just how they are. It wasn't them.
So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. I said, is it classified? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, don't show it to me.
You could even stop it right there. You know, and so there it is. Like, and they will have their Iranian war. That's what they want. They'll have it.
Well, and if you think about it, right, a lot of the countries that they've talked about are not in line with a one world government. They're very religious based people, God, right? And they don't believe in the same God of the people that are pulling the strings. So they would be the type of people that would revolt and push back on a one world government. So you got to wipe them out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that easy. It's that simple. I know it sounds, again, conspiratorial Alex Jonesy, but at the end of the day, it's
because if you have a general, that's a general showing you the paper. Like, I mean, well, he wasn't showing them. He's telling them that this is, and then that was in the past. Like, he's like, these are the countries we're going after. And didn't they go after those countries? I mean, Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, all that stuff. So, you know, but people, you know what? People are waking up to it, though. I will say some people are waking up to it, but that conservative wing is just, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it.
Like we said earlier, there's no team. There's no teams. Conservative, it doesn't matter. They're all garbage. They're all liars at the end of the day. They all make up things. They're all going to say the right things so that you still have this tribalism, right? So you have people fighting online, the leftists versus right. But at the end of the day, they're all on the same. They're all voting for the same stuff. They're all getting paid the same. They're all in each other's pocket. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
you're right. And they all say the same thing. And that's why even when Candace Owens, you know, I made a comment under her thing. And she's like, who should I have on my stage next? And I'm like, Nick Fuentes. Because who else are you going to get? Who are you going to get? Speaker Mike Johnson? Who are you going to get? Somebody else to talk about the woke? I'm tired of hearing about that bullshit.
You know what's funny? Fuentes posted something earlier, and he was basically saying, like, you notice how, like, he's the most banned person on the internet, right? But you have degenerates like Aiden Ross and all these other scumbag influencers that, you know, they're gambling, pornography, all this other stuff, and that's what they're promoting. That's what's allowed online. That's what's allowed for the youth to follow after. Like, people are like, oh, I want to be like Aiden Ross. Like, can you imagine any kid today looking at that type of behavior and go, I want to be like that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I know I'm biased, but like I would much rather my kid grow up to be like Nick Fuentes and Aiden Ross, and I think everybody else would too, and they're just not going to admit it. But like Nick, like promotes, you know, Christianity and like, you know, the nuclear family and stuff. Aiden Ross promotes porn stars and, like you said, gambling and all that other stuff. everybody else would want their kids to grow up to be like Nick and not like Aiden, but they would never admit it just because he said some mean things.
And it really goes to show you how far things have fallen. And the reason why I say that is because growing up and Casey, I think you can attest to this because we're around the same age. Can you imagine we're 15, 16, 18, right? And Aiden Ross's behavior is happening. The kids of back then would do bad things to him. Like he wouldn't be looked up to like an idol. Because like those kids were just all these kids are soft, weak little crybaby losers. All of them. They're all degenerate losers. What's that other goofy ass motherfucker with his glasses? Yeah, it's disgustingly sad.
Who are y'all talking about? Who's the other?
That neon clown.
Yeah.
He's some little nerd. I don't know. He looks like fucking. I don't know. I can't say half the stuff I want to say on here because I get removed in like 2 seconds. But all these people, they're all just degenerate scumbag like losers that you would never ever even want to be around. And the fact that they're promoted and they have $40 million, it's insane. It's insanity.
And
That's
then
the only reason why they don't get like beat up by the people they're surrounded with is because they're rich. And
they have bodyguards and stuff, yeah. But the fact that they got popular, they had to get popular for some reason.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what kids look up to.
I'm sorry. I literally blame everything on Israel. All right, my bad. Go ahead. Though.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right? I know that sounds crazy, but there's somebody controls all this stuff from the top down. And if you have certain groups of people that are controlling everything from the top down, well, it's all funnel. So, you know.
How am I wrong for saying that? You know, I'm just saying.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, like, yeah, but you know, like, come on, like, at the end of the day, okay, provide your own not alls. Like, you know what I'm saying? I do not fight back the pattern of black folk committing all the crime. Okay, most of the 98% of the crime, right? I mean, that's the obvious, right? It is not all black people, but I know it is the pattern. It doesn't make me feel good, right? But it's a reality, right?
And
so why can't I be real about something else? Go ahead.
It's kind of interesting that, you know, everybody's talking right now about like the horrible things going on overseas, right? Like children getting maimed and hurt, and you can see the videos and stuff, and that's terrible. And I agree on either side. I don't care what border that it happened on. If there are children getting injured, that is a terrible, terrible thing, right? That is horrible. And everyone's like, yeah, we can all agree on that. Cool. Nobody gives two shits when kids die here. Yeah. Kids die here every day. Get shot, they get killed for some, or horrible other things happen, right? They get, you know, I can't mention the words. They get AR'd and then murdered and all that, like all kinds of stuff. No, but that's okay. That's just normal, right? Or if, you know, a certain crime happens in a certain community, like, oh, well, that's a standard. That's just a standard. Like, we expect that to happen. But we have to protect what's going over 3,000 miles away across the, or however many miles away, because why? Why? I just don't understand. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just prefer to care about what's going on here rather than what is going on overseas all the time. I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. It is, but it is waking people. I mean, this clip I just sent, it is of Nick. I mean,
can we play this?
Huh?
We could play this, right?
You should be able to play. I mean, the live that he did, it's still on my thing, and they didn't move my channel for it. So that mustache be cracking me up, though.
Yeah, I know. All right,
like this supremacist, and I don't with that mustache.
All right, let's play this.
The silver lining in this horrible situation is that finally the world is waking up and paying attention to the Palestinian cause. And in that sense, Hamas has succeeded because the whole world was ready to forget about Palestine. The whole world was ready to forget about the Gaza Strip, specifically Saudi Arabia and the United States. We're paving the way to normalize ties with Israel without resolving the Palestinian issue.
Now, real quick, haven't people said that Hamas is actually funded by?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
By who?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Israel.
Netanyahu. Yeah, he helped create Hamas. That's why I get so tired of hearing these people talk about stuff like, it's just crazy. They talk about this stuff like, get Hamas, we got to get Hamas so we could be safe. And I'm like, well, if y'all would stop creating Hamases and Mujahedeens and Talibans and ISISes, I think we'd be just fine. Literally helped create Hamas as a deterrent for Yasser Arafat. Yes. And then they ended up voting these people in. And they became just as extreme as they wanted them to be. And they thought they would be able to use them whenever they want. So you can't play people like that. And now you can't control this entity that you made. And yes, he allowed them to have money. He funded the money to keep the fissure going between the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. So it could always be a problem over there for the Palestinians. But now it's spilled over your area. You cannot control the insanity you make, for lack of a better term.
Well, and like you said earlier, we saw that Charlie Kirk clip where they let it seems like they let the insanity spill over to give reason to then provocate war, right? Because if you allow and it's very similar to our day in September, right? It seems like evidence leads to believe that we allowed that to occur. So that it gives us a full support of everyone to go into a country and turn it into glass and shadows. So that's how this works. They create their own little monster. It becomes a problem, and it's not a problem for them. It's never going to be a problem for them. It's always a problem for us. And then we're the ones out there fighting it. And I mean, that 100% makes sense. But again, if you say common sense stuff, well, you're just a lunatic.
But you see, when he talks about, people won't watch Nick's show because he's an whatever. He really talks about geopolitical things that are happening and domestic things that are happening. His show is interesting. It's not just like him just ragging on Jewish people all day long. Like, it's an interesting show. But he's right about some of the stuff he's saying. This really did backfire for Netanyahu. It did. It just did.
And so what Hamas did with the Al-Aqsa flood is they put Palestine literally and figuratively on the map. And now the whole world is paying attention. The whole world sees the barbarity or the barbarism of Israel and how evil they are. And when the Biden administration comes in and they let the bombing continue, but they just stop the bombing in certain areas, it does provide relief, and I'm sure the people of Gaza are grateful to have that. But all it does is create this perception that Israel is being humane when they're not. It creates this perception that Israel is taking steps to mitigate civilian casualties when they're not. They're not letting enough relief in. They're not stopping the bombing. They're still killing whoever they want. The United States still justifies that, and it still guarantees that with its Navy and its Air Force. So to me, the humanitarian pause, this is just like a paltry consolation, and
you don't even have to play the whole
all
thing.
This does is create.
Oh, well, I mean, he's making very valid points.
Yeah,
there.
he always does too. But yeah, I mean, you can play the rest, but
well, I mean, it just again, and that was he mentioned one thing I was going to say, basically just about. Well, here, let me play this real quick.
More than anything, I think it creates political maneuverability for the Arab states.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So the issue is too that we don't realize that like we've seen before in Afghanistan, this kind of vacuum that all this creates, right? Because now they want to displace everyone within the Gaza Strip. I think that's the point, right? So, and what are they all saying? Oh, well, this country has to take so many Palestinians, or the United States has to take. No,
I don't want them.
No,
I
don't want these. No, thank you.
And first of all, I don't want nobody here. I certainly don't want a bunch of people who we done blown up their mothers, fathers, and everybody else, and then you want to bring them here? Come on now.
Oh, and here's the reality of it too, and this is just the reality of it. This whole melting pot, coexist, like that fucking bumper sticker. I cannot stand it. You cannot coexist with everybody. It is not possible. When people have completely different moral values, or we have like in the Western world, it's not always great, but we do have a societal standards of certain things, right? Like in our society, we realize that you shouldn't stand in the middle of the street and piss on the floor. Like that's a
Right.
basic standard, or bathe in your own shit. Some of these countries, they actually do that kind of stuff. Right. Like you can't live with people who think that. Like I remember I was watching a documentary of like some shit going on in the Congo, right? In these fighters or whatever, and they believe in like witchcraft still. Like they believe it's in witchcraft, and they believe in like
Voodoo
when they're invading these other tribes within the Congo, right? Like they're allowed to their women because it gives them like magical powers. Like that's what they really think. And it's like, can you like that? We're supposed to coexist with that? How?
I'm keeping it real. I mean, the Haitians who be coming here, I'm not like I'm Haitian descent, and I'm like I don't want them here. I tell my brother all the time, I'm like, Dodgy, these are different people. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
I'm not I'm not walking. I'm not living amongst people that like carry chicken heads on their side and think it's like a good luck charm.
When they murder, they're not afraid. Like So like it's just the reality of the situation. But even the reason why I sent this clip is like, this is a guy who is talking about the situation as a whole, and he keeps it real about everything. And so that's why I said have him on. Because who you going to have on? The person who's going to tell you, oh, Israel great, or even, oh, we're fighting for the J6ers, but we're not going to Joe Biden and all this stuff.
But she's fake, though.
Huh?
She's fake. She's not real.
She's trying. It's crazy because Candace is actually like walking a fine line on the Daily Wire.
Well, Matt Walsh finally said something too about he made a comment earlier. It was this week I saw where he spoke out about Israel, and he was saying, well, everyone's saying we don't need that Israel can do it on their own. They don't need the support, but then also at the same time, you need to back Israel, and they need our support full. And he's like, well, you can't have best of both worlds. It's one or the other. He's like, and the fact that we're bouncing back and forth, he's like, that's ridiculous. He's like, if they don't need our help, fine, then we need to get out 100% completely and leave them alone. And I'm like, I'm sure Ben loves that comment.
Wait,
yeah, I'm sure he got a scathing letter from Ben Shapiro.
That's different than having Nick Fuentes on. Like, if they have Nick Fuentes on, they're fired.
God, I would love to see it. I just would love to. Like, Ben Shapiro goes all the way to, and we could go to like the fun part of it. We don't even need to stay geopolitical, right? Like, we just keep having fun culturally now. But Ben Shapiro goes to all these colleges, and he's like, yeah, I'm owning the kids. Like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, freaking debate Nick Fuentes. Like, just do it. Like, let's just. I'll even pay for the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like, let's do it. He won't do it.
But they would just, again, how they handle it just like every other leftist. They've already labeled him. Everyone's already made their decision of him. So anything that he says is going to, and that's another thing too. Sometimes just because you're saying something that you don't like to hear, whether it's true or not, it's automatically wrong in certain people's ears, right? Even if it's, people don't like to hear the truth.
I definitely hear you, and I'm not even trying to act like, but it is something about this kid though. When people start to listen to him, they start to say like, hey, wait a second, he's not that bad, because he's interesting, number one. Number two, his channel has been growing on Rumble and everything. You know what I mean? Like, he's growing. As much as they're trying to hide him, he's still growing. And you know why? Because people are getting bored with the same old thing. You don't have to and he has an audience of mixed race. Clearly, I'm a black woman telling you I watch this guy, right? Like, they just watch him because he knows what he's saying about a lot of stuff, but that he has the balls to even try to say it. People want to know, like, who is this person who can't have a bank account? Who is this person? So it backfires what they try to do,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I agree that people are, when they listen to him, they like, oh, okay, well, he's not that bad, and that people are sick of the same voices. I think personally, what would be more beneficial for him to go on anyone's platform would be like a Joe Rogan. Now, only because of the reach. Now, I don't know if Joe's the smartest person to speak to him, just because he's kind of naive himself, right? And Nick Fuentes would make him sound like a complete dummy, like, because obviously Joe Rogan is not the smartest guy in the world.
He also would never have him on because he's not the smartest guy in the world. And he just hears the labels and he's like, yeah, he ain't coming on.
It's crazy.
Oh, agree. Yeah, absolutely.
He wouldn't even have Donald Trump on.
Really?
I know, and then he's flip flopped a little bit on that because I think he said, you know what I mean, and I don't know. I think unfortunately the worse things continue to get, the more people are starting to wake up, like we've already mentioned. But at some point, it's going to get too late. It's going to be too past the point of no return. And I personally think we're kind of already there. I'm not trying to be black-pilled, but again. Everyone's talking about, like, remember, you guys see this online. They're talking about voting still to fix this. It's like, what? Wait, what? What are you? Where were you? Where were you 4 years ago? Voting didn't solve it then. It's not going to solve it now.
I did vote on the Tuesday, but I didn't.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying not to vote. I'm just saying.
No. I didn't expect much. Trust me. And it's like getting to the point where I'm almost black pilled enough where I'm about to be like, I don't know, man. I got to be careful how far I go with. But you just find out so many things, and you're just like, what are we doing?
All right, let's see what this 12 seconds.
You said Matt Walsh said that he's starting to talk about.
Oh, okay.
When Matt Walsh says, I don't think you have to support Israel to be patriotic. And they're like, shut up, Goy, shut up. Yes, you do. And he's like, okay, all right.
His Matt Walsh impression is so good.
Yes, horrible. Oh God, just one more time. I'm sorry. It's funny. You should be.
I love how when he goes off like that, dude. That shit's hilarious. Did you guys see? Oh, go ahead.
No, just play it one more time. I'm sorry. It's only 12 seconds.
When Matt Walsh says, I don't think you have to support Israel to be patriotic. And they're like, shut up, Goy, shut up. Yes, you do. And he's like, okay, all right.
Oh, God.
That's hilarious.
Oh, shit. All
right. Well, the two aren't. So I was trying to think of a thumbnail earlier. I was like, I have no idea what to make or what to even talk about. And the two things that I saw that popped up were the Epstein list that they were going to apparently release. I don't know if you guys know this, but they're
right. Who's releasing
exactly.
that? God is not letting that happen. Are you serious? Okay, go ahead.
If they try, I guarantee you someone's going to be have an accident or their plane's going to crash or something.
So they're gonna release it, and it's gonna say Donald Trump.
Probably.
They'll tweak the letter. They'll put Donald Trump in like Thomas Massey or something. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm trying to find the latest article here. GOP senator moves to force release of Jeffrey Epstein flight. Like, honestly, I get it. Like, that's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, we should know. Goddamn Fox News. Won't let me run my ad blocker. Let's see. I guess I'll just do it and turn the fucking thing off. Sorry, stand by.
It's all right.
But anyway, let me share this.
Let me just get a drink.
All right, so yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's important, I guess, that we see this, right? But of all the things going on right now, everything that's happening.
Is there like something's playing? I can't hear shit.
Something is playing.
Millions of children's lives are being devastated.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything.
I didn't know it was playing. Whoops. All right, is it stopped now?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, they're just trying to get money. That's all this is. Donate now to money that's never going to go overseas and go in someone's pocket.
I know.
But GOP senator moves to force release of Jeffrey Epstein. Flight logs identify perpetrators in horrific conduct. Now, here's reality, right? does this shit even, like, at this point of what's going on in the world, does anyone care? Do you care right now? I don't care. I know who's on there. I don't need to see an actual list. What's that going to do?
I don't even trust the list. That's the thing.
Yeah. We already know that Hunter Biden and all the corrupt, terrible things that he's done, like with that laptop and all that stuff, and nothing has been done.
Nothing.
But you have the FBI hunting down J6 people, and what? Because they posted a fucking meme or something online.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
You got the FBI going after Catholics, and nobody is in the street roaring about that. You know what I mean? Straight up, they're going after Catholics. Like,
well, yeah, they're the wrong religion.
Yeah, and there should be an uproar.
Which is kind of weird because I thought like hasn't the Catholic religion been infiltrated? Don't you have like the Pope?
So they're
saying
going
that,
after Vatican I Catholics, like traditional Catholics.
Oh, the ones that don't believe in all that bullshit.
Yeah, like hardcore, like real talk Catholics.
Isn't that crazy though? Like this is going on. Everyone's just like, yeah, well, what are you gonna do? It's the FBI.
Right, like.
Oh, and then what else did I see? There was something else that came up with the FBI today where the House approved, or the senators approved like a new $20 million or $200 million facility for the FBI, right? Oh, here you go. Let's see. I'm going to show
they
this.
need that. Instead of the burning, okay.
So Republicans voted to give the FBI $300 million so that they could do more BS, right? So this is apparently like something that the journalist did. Now, later on, after they announced this, the FBI also announced that there was did you see about the major sting operation in D.C. that had like sex crimes and children involved and all that stuff?
I think
and
I
they
heard
made
something
like,
about it.
Yeah, apparently they had names of politicians and only 3 people have been arrested. And then all of a sudden, after that announcement, they approved this big, giant $300 million building. Isn't that coincidental?
Right.
It's like, hey, if you give us a new building, we won't come arrest you for all the horrible things that you do.
The building probably only cost $15 million to build. The money's going to their pockets too, as far as I'm concerned.
Here you go. Charlie Kirk put this out. I knew I saw it from somewhere. 70 Republicans voted to give the FBI $300 million to build a new headquarters larger than the Pentagon. On the same day, the DOJ announces it is prosecuting 3 men for running a D.C. area brothels frequented by politicians. Coincidence, or did the FBI just blackmail members of Congress with those crimes they don't want made public?
Yeah.
And we know that that's what they do. They always they blackmail you to get their way.
Right.
So this doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, Mossad does this all the time. Yeah, because that's the agents that are in our FBI. So, you know,
I feel like Charlie Kirk and a couple of them are like right there. They're like so close.
They're always right there, but they won't ever cross. This is again why I'm done with all of them, because Charlie is. There's something deep inside Charlie that I think he wants to break and just finally just say everything, right? But you're taking too long. You know why this is disingenuous to me? Let's get the bad guys, but not these bad guys. Mm-hmm. No, get the bad guys, period. You know what I mean? Period.
Yeah, look,
I don't care.
This comment by Mike has bad knees. Perfect. They arrest the traffickers, but never the customers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're not going to arrest the people selling the guns, right? The illegal firearms, but the ones who have it, you know, they're the problem.
And I get it. You know, I get what Justin's saying. It's like, well, we already know they're doing this and stuff. It's just like I just want people to get so mad. Like I know one thing that would make people get mad, it's like a draft or something. That I think that would break the fabric, and people would be like, no, hell no. So I've seen enough videos of people saying I would absolutely refuse, not this country. And I mean, we're under foreign occupation.
Well,
anyways.
bro. Who are they going to draft? They're going to draft a bunch of Aiden Rosses? Like, of course they're going to say no.
Right.
Like, back in the day, like, there's probably a lot of people who are willing to go. Like, they'd be like, all right, you know, if I have to.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like, dude, the hell no. These people never even played sports, probably, like 90% of them.
No, they scream at the screen when they get killed in Call of Duty.
But it's not even just that. It's the disaffected people. Like, come on, think about it. like again, we go back to Nick Fuentes. I'm going back to I'm using it as a example of somebody who is so annoyed with how everything's been going, right? And he said, he's like, there's never been any kind of uproar for anti-whiteism, but now, we got to all band together because of XYZ, right? But so imagine telling him like, now you got to go to the Middle East and go. Like, can you imagine? That would cause a fissure in this country. The asteroid does have to come at some point. It does.
I think the asteroid's already hit. We just don't know it yet. I feel like that's what it's. And again, not trying to sound black-pilled, man, but I mean, think about the destruction of what's going on and how long it's been taking to do it. I mean, it's been going on for quite a long time. Think about how long, if there's ever to even be reversed, if possible, how long that would take. It's definitely not happening in our lifetimes. There's no way.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not black-pilled. It's just reality. Like, we can know the truth all we want, but we literally can't do anything about it. We don't have the resources. We don't have the connections. They have all of that stuff. So it's like the only thing that we can possibly do is collect resources and just try to get as powerful as you possibly can, and then either get out or.
And there you go. I knew you were going to say that next, right? And get out, right? So I guess we'd have to go to Russia, right? Because even when you try to separate yourself and say, I'm just going to go to the mountains and build a house and get the hell away from everybody, they send the damn helicopters after you and snuff you out.
No, I'm not that important. They ain't coming after me.
Well, they'll drone you out, man. They don't need to send a helicopter. They'll send a drone with a grenade attached. Right. And fucking, you'll be out there in your field farming, and they'll drop a $10 grenade on your head, and you'll be like, "What was that noise?"
Oh God, Matt, don't make me crack up. Like, and Justin, you say that, right? You say that. What I just said to you is an example of what they used to do like a lot in the 90s, apparently, from what I'm finding out. But regular people who just Ruby Ridge. I mean, Matt, you know the story.
Oh,
Ruby
yeah,
Ridge,
I know.
right? Yeah, Randy Weaver. The man said, there's too many Zionists in our government. I'm getting out of here. Especially he was in the military too, so he knew the ins and outs, right? Said, I'm just going to go to the mountains and mind my business. Y'all can have y'all thing down there. And they came after this guy.
Yep.
Literally
guns a-blazing.
Snipers. Yeah, like what?
Well, look at Waco.
Waco too.
There's like, so many examples of literally nobody. Yeah, there are nobody people doing. I mean, we see it right now with the J6 stuff. That's perfect example. These, J6 are, they're doing nothing wrong, and they're sending the entire FBI tracking them down because of fucking memes and shit online. Yep. So,
yep. Owen Schroyer never went into the what is this?
Slim says, "Are you all familiar with the Pope letter to Obama?" Not that I'm aware of.
No, Slim, you want to share that? Thank you for coming, Slim. Please hit the like button.
But no, I am not familiar with that. Now, I am familiar, when we talked about this before, the letters, the funeral letters of George Bush. Right. So those are interesting. But let's see, they don't spend $10 on a grenade, more like a band each. Well, yeah, I know. I know grenades are a little bit more than $10. But yeah, they'll still come after you. You can look at all the footage from Ukraine where they're flying these drones into people. What's going on, General?
Justin said to go to Dubai.
Go to Dubai, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Dave Rubin.
Nah, the only people that get a free road to Dubai is if you're a e-thought, but then you got to get shit on. Did you ever hear that, Justin? Said all those girls every girl that you ever see the pictures of like that are in Dubai have been shit on. Like literally have been shit on.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
That's what they do over there. It's like, hey, you're a beautiful girl. I shit on you.
What?
That's their accent.
That's their accent today.
You beautiful girl. You see it? They really like pooping on them for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, coexist.
Why are they doing?
I don't know.
You gotta think like at a certain point, like when you're super rich, like you just run out of shit to do. Like you just start doing random shit.
It's like spread this all over your body. Paint yourself with this. You want money? Oh yeah, because they have an unlimited amount of money. Like they have money to the point where it's not even. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like there's like a famous Alan Watts quote that I'm about to butcher so bad, but he basically said like, imagine if you could just dream and like lucid dream forever, and you wished for like anything you ever wanted. Eventually, your wish would become, I wish that I can't control anything, because it would just get so boring. It's basically like the same shit. Like they're just so rich that they're just trying to do random shit.
Oh, they want problems. Okay. Like, I mean, God. Yeah.
Like the most dangerous place to be is at the top of the mountain. Just gonna self-sabotage back down.
That makes sense.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to look
This,
up.
this guy talking about
orders. There's a
Dave Rubin is on Twitter trying to call the FBI on somebody. These are the freedom fighters. Anyway.
Dave Rubin's doing that right now.
Yeah.
Shocker. He's another phallus.
Can't.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else.
I know.
Yeah. He's another phallus.
Oh, I said it a little bit. Why can't we use that word? I use that word with my friends all the time.
Well, yeah, it's not the 90s anymore. We'll get kicked out. They'll go to Dubai to get pooped on, but don't you dare take them to the cheesecake factory.
I know. Isn't that like Howard?
I saw that video. Holy shit.
I'm like on the worst place of intersectionality of like woman. Like
That's insane.
But no. I'm just.
So the other, I'm gonna look up the civil orders thing in a second. But I have it up. I'm just trying to find like the details of it because I can't find it right now. Everything's like is this it? But real quick, the second part I wanted to bring up with the whole Nancy Pelosi thing and the trial that's going on, the Paul Pelosi trial. Have you guys heard about that?
What's going on with that now?
Nope.
So, all right. I know that's probably confusing with the thumbnail and the unicorn. So, let me see. I have it saved in one of the bookmarks. Let me pull this up. Share this. Okay, it says, and this is from the AP, right? So this is part of the article.
Why do you have a bunch of groypers all over here?
You'll see, because so the guy that actually had the hammer and attacked him, his name is David DePapi or Pepe or whatever. Brought two, DePapi Boopy. Brought two inflatable, multicolor uniform costumes with him when he went to see his lover, Paul Pelosi.
This is insane.
San Francisco Police Acting Lieutenant O'Connor, who helped process, look at the hammer, who helped process the crime scene, testified she collected a sleeping bag, 2 backpacks from the Pelosi patio with DePapi allegedly brought with him. Items in the backpacks included a sledgehammer, zip ties, gloves, duct tape, cash, a Canadian passport, Canadian birth certificate, men's clothes, a video game console, and 2 inflatable multicolor unicorn costumes. The story has been corrected. So, yeah. So everyone's like, what? Which that whole thing is just insane. That doesn't surprise me at all.
That is just, I mean, I seen the video though when he turns around and hammers him, and that was like disturbing to look at. Like that. Really I was like, dang, I don't know what went wrong here. You know what I'm saying? In the Matrix. I remember when they asked Donald Trump about this situation. Now, if you remember the aerial view of the house, right? The glass was on the outside, right?
Yep.
And they were trying to say that, Nancy Pelosi and them or whatever, the team, they were trying to fix this up. And they were saying that the guy broke in. And so when they asked Donald Trump, like, what do you think about the situation? He's like, oh, well, I mean, it's a sad situation. But I mean, if you look, the glass is on the outside. That doesn't sound like a break in. It sounds like a break out.
Oh, he knows what's going on with all this stuff. He has so much information, and he kind of leaks it in like a jokingly way all the time. So it's really funny.
I mean, the bit that I heard, I was like, all right, he was sleeping with him.
So now
that's what they do.
Oh yeah, they're gross. A lot of them are degenerates, and yeah.
Yeah, they get older with boys.
But Slim says, yeah, the U.S. corporation shut down by Pope. U.S. is a company, not a country. I have heard that before, that we're not really like, we're kind of like a corporation. The United States of America is considered like a corporation, not a country anymore. I forgot exactly the details because I'm not smart enough. But
yeah, this is like that Erickson stuff a little bit too. That there's a guy on Twitter who he knows all about this. I can't keep up with it, like it's the breakdown of it, but it is quite the breakdown.
It says the equity contract known as the Constitution of the United States of America makes it clear that several states contracted to form a single governmental services agency known as the United States. The contract stipulates that the assets to be held in trust by the federal government in the preamble and Bill of Rights comprising the trust indenture portion of the contract, and also stipulates the 19th enumerated services to be performed and exactly what powers the states agree to delegate to the United States and how they would pay for these services. And it goes on and on and on. Again, it's not the whole document either. It's one of 7 pages. But see, that's one thing that's interesting too, that people don't even realize with like, and how people are brainwashed with even the Civil War, right? Like everyone's always like, oh, the Civil War was about slavery. No, it wasn't at all. It was about states' rights versus federal government.
Yeah.
And the South was fighting for states' rights because the federal government continuously kept putting their nose where it didn't belong, and they wanted, like, if West Virginia wanted to do something and Kentucky didn't, well, that's states' right. They don't want a federal government. It's telling them what to do. And if you look up Razor Fist, I'm sure you guys have heard that YouTuber before, does a great video on how terrible Abraham Lincoln is. Like how he's like the very first dictator of the United States ever.
I've heard people say that. Like one of my friends from Minnesota, that's how he describes Abraham Lincoln. He's like, I think he was the worst.
Yeah, they literally say like John Wilkes Booth is the greatest American hero ever because if you actually look up what Lincoln did, he arrested journalists, he arrested political parties, like rivaling political parties. Lincoln did awful things. He hated the Constitution in all reality, and again, Razor Fist does I think an hour and a half video of detail. It's very interesting, and he uses facts. Obviously, he's not just talking out of his ass. Here, it's I'm not going to play it, obviously, but well, shit. Here, yeah. So this is his channel, and this is the video right here. Abraham Lincoln, American Dictator. It's an hour and 7 minutes long. Definitely recommend you checking this out. It's worth the watch, and he just goes on these rants, obviously, but he knows his shit about history.
Yeah. Excuse me, sorry. I'm just trying to see if there's any okay, so did you guys watch the debate? Okay, right? So y'all probably didn't watch the debate.
I didn't watch the debate.
Hell no.
No, I know. Look. But Vivek Ramaswamy did have some moments though that was worth he went off.
But I see that's the thing though. I think and it's great sound bites and stuff, and how he made fun of what's that chick's name?
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, yeah, he ripped her apart. That was actually
for Ron DeSantis, and people don't realize that.
He ripped apart both of them because with the heels thing, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, Vivek too, he's kind of he sounds like very he sounds like a good contender, but then he's also said a lot of skeptical shit as well.
I mean, I'm not voting for him or anything, but I just think he's fun to watch. You know what I'm saying?
It was definitely interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's very, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just cynic or whatever, but I feel like it's all just fake. I feel like it's just all scripted, and it's just like a soap opera. So the right wing people can go, oh, look, he owned him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's all the right cares about now. It's just owning the libs. That's it.
Sound bites.
Yeah. Well, damn, it was. I just sent the clip, and now I'm like, Mom,
no, it's all right. It's all right.
I mean, it's fun to watch. I just think it's just funny. Not that's the girl, me and the girl.
Oh, this person is
No,
threatening to
it's the
kill
clip
me.
after.
No, I know. I just want to see this. You
Oh,
guys,
you wanted to see?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's of course he would. He'd be a little
he's
snitch.
such a girl. Like he really is.
Typical DeSantis supporter
Ugh.
activity.
Absolutely.
Well, he literally wears high heels, so
like literally. But no, the conservatives won't say that. Charlie Kirk says, "Oh, congratulations on your two kids."
on your what?
Huh? On your
Congratulations.
kids. You know, him and his partner made children.
Oh,
In a
I
lab.
didn't know that. Did they adopt or they made him in a lab?
It's like that insemination stuff. They had a surrogate, but you know, I give this type of stuff no respect. I'm sorry, I don't. I think it's very borderline to, you know, have two men raising kids. I seriously do. So
Well, did you see that one couple that they adopted children and then turns out that they were like basically pimping them out for their little clubs and stuff?
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean,
yeah. And then like the way they just get so hyped showing off their kids. And, what's that?
I don't know. Did someone deflate like a tire? I don't know. What was that noise?
I don't know. But
I don't know.
let me just,
Here. Let's check out this real quick. So, oh God, I didn't expect it to make noise. The moment where Vivek,
you know, I mean, to read this guy's. This guy is so corny. Brandon Tatum. So I just happened to I don't like anybody. Yo, I could never make.
Oh,
any kind
he's
of
that
connection.
fucking.
He's so like.
Yeah.
But
he got real big, Officer Tatum, because he used to be a cop. Yeah.
Because he was a black guy who was against crime. I could find a lot of those for you. All right. Anyway.
Swami, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why would you?
Lester Holt.
Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. There's a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, I mean, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ross.
Sorry. This is how we get our country back.
Listen, you see her smiling. Women love to be talked about.
And she's like, "Have you lost your fucking mind?"
No,
Yeah.
she actually liked it. That's why she smiled. She's like, "Oh shit."
You know what I'm really fucking tired of? The Elon Musk meat riding. Like,
Oh yeah.
God damn, bro. Like, dude, shut up about Elon Musk.
All I know, when I heard him talking, the you know who came to my mind immediately and who it reminded me of? He's a Republican version of Obama.
Yeah.
That's all he is. He's saying the right shit again. Oh yeah, that's what I want to hear. Is how we're gonna get our country back. And then he's gonna go in and he's gonna get fucking. Then he's gonna get bought out. Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's gonna get bought out, and it's gonna be the same old shit. I mean, just like that Republican we talked about earlier, the new House representative, whatever his name is.
Everything that he's just, oh man. But the difference with him is he holds a Bible while he's doing it.
Yeah, the fucking Keebler elf who climbs out of his tree. That's exactly what he looks like. And then he's like, "Oh yeah,
Matt is savage." Like
he does. He looks just like the Keebler elf, man. He's like 3'5". Him and his 10-year-old's taller than him. You know, and you're gonna sit there and tell me this guy's gonna change anything? Get out.
I know Wolf of Wall Street. You seen that movie?
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a really
remember that guy with the hair piece? That's like one of
yeah.
Yeah, that's what he looks like.
He does.
Y'all keep making what was his name?
I have no idea.
Remember they kept trying to take the hairpiece off. Anyway.
Yeah.
And he got
see what I mean? And then look at all this. Vivek Ramaswamy, well, he'll be the press secretary, and then no, he won't. Laura Loomer Laura Loomer keeps saying she's going to be this press secretary if Trump gets in. And I'm like,
I'd be so annoyed if they bought that.
Bro, look, Laura Loomer, like she could say some cool stuff, but I just can't look at her. Like,
oh
she's
no,
scary to look at.
She is something. Yeah, if I saw her in an alleyway, I would fucking.
Yeah, dude, she looks like the bad guy in a horror movie. Like,
do you guys know who Meat Cannon is? His videos.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that. She looks like a cartoon out of Meat Cannon. she is a creepy, dark, and like just.
It's so gross. Like, why did people do that?
What happened to her face?
Just so much plastic surgery, I guess.
Yeah, Botox. God, Botox or something. Like she does too much fillers or something.
Hit with a bag of
she
nickels.
Really needs to stop because one time I saw a picture of her.
Yeah.
yes.
She does look like the Saw. You want to play a game?
Yes.
But, that's pretty hilarious.
But yeah, like I mean, just even look at the caption. Like I laugh when Vivek Ramaswamy talks. I laugh because he does sound polished and everything. I thought it was good that he did this in a sense, like somebody to have a pulse on that stage. I don't trust none of them. I don't believe anything anybody said. But they're so boring and everything. I was just like, True,
yeah, and it is. I like what he said. It's just the one thing I will say though is like, well, he technically didn't answer the question. Like, if they, you're right, because he's running for president, right? At the end of the day, he's running for the nominee, and he asked him specifically, like, well, why should you be president? Oh, right, that was the exact question here.
Swami, let me turn to you. Please make your case. Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on.
I'm going to I'm going to not answer what you want me to say because my base will not like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say something completely opposite and call you fucking fake.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, that is just like, you're not putting on that hot plate.
I kind of respect it, though, because he was like, you know what? Instead of me telling, well, I assume he's talking about Donald Trump, right? When he was asking, like,
he won't go after Trump, and I'm glad he doesn't. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's probably a play for like his voter base, but it is kind of respectful to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna trash on Donald Trump because he's probably the only other real person in this whole area of politics. So, fuck you.
I would have respected him more if he said, honestly, I think Trump would be a better candidate than I would. But if he, for some reason, they go after him and they try to arrest him and they prevent him from running, this is why I think I would be the next best thing. And then go into it. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, he would have got a lot of votes from that.
Yeah, but he does say stuff like that. He said, like, we just, he does not come at Trump. And I'm glad he doesn't because he knows, like, what's the point? Like, some people, like DeSantis supporters, they swear to God that coming at Trump is like, oh, you see, we're not a cult. They go against Trump just to say they go against Trump.
Because it's the cool thing, and there's some people just want to be opposite.
Yeah, as soon as, because like when I go on their spaces, and I do go on their spaces, they're like, we know that, you're in the cult or whatever, like they'll start. And I'm like, what are you talking about, a cult, man? Like, I just became a Republican voter back in 2020. I'm
What's
just
funny
looking at
is
him.
They're calling you a cult, yet they are literally in a cult as well. But you're MAGA. So, you're obviously in a cult because
ours doesn't have a name. So,
yeah,
what's that?
Doesn't have a name.
They're just saying ours doesn't have a name. So,
yeah, we don't have anything to label it. Yeah.
But and then they get so worked up. I mean, Bootgate was the most funniest thing to me because, DeSantis, he wears these heels everywhere he goes, and like, they're cowboy boots. I know they're cowboy boots, but Patrick Bet-David tried to give him some Ferragamo.
Did you see the 3-inch when Vivek said, or what is this? Is that his name, Vivek? Yeah.
Yeah.
When he said the 3-inch heel comment on stage, and then DeSantis like looked down at his own feet. Did you see him do that? That guy is a fucking like a cartoon character.
He
He's
can't
so
even-
stupid.
I'm gonna tell you why I watched it. Y'all gonna be like, you must be his number one fan. No, but he just makes everything fun. Nick Fuentes was live streaming the debate, so yes, that's why I ended up watching it, because he made it funny, you know. And in the end, when DeSantis talks, DeSantis can't even smile. It's like he does this weird thing. Like I was just like, oh my god. But this DeSantis supporters, they just love everything that he does. Even when he's killing freedom of speech, they're like, hey, whatever, he did it, so it's good. And I'm like,
it's honestly at the point where it's like, I know that people are not going to agree with me, but if it's going to be like, I wouldn't feel any different if DeSantis got elected than if Biden got reelected. Like, I wouldn't care. Like, it's not going to really move the needle for me.
you're right. What's up, Hypnotic? You are so right. I do feel the same way too. I do. I don't trust that man. Like, I don't know any of them to trust them, but I really don't trust him. Like,
Yeah.
he talks about, we're gonna pick Mulgan over Moscow, Bogdan over Beijing. Like, I don't know what you're saying, yo. Like, it's just
Who is this?
DeSantis, like, he's so
Oh.
boring when he talks, like, and he thinks he's like saying these cool one-liners. We're gonna pick Molden over Moscow, Bogdan over Beijing. We're gonna get our own oil, and I'm like, no, you're not. You're such a liar. You're not. You know why? Because if we start drilling at home, it's gonna mess up the oil prices for them in the market. Okay, and you are owned by every donor. The difference with Trump, they couldn't own him. Now, see, I don't know. This time around, he's scaring me a little bit the way he talks. I'm not gonna lie to you, he did scare me. But you should see this footage of Donald Trump at the Jewish Republican, whatever, like from 2015. He said, y'all don't want me. He's talking to the Jewish Republican thing, right? He's like, you guys don't want me. He said, because I don't need your money. He said, because you can't own me. You want to own your politicians. You can't own me. And I'm like, oh my God. But he doesn't sound like that anymore. So
Well, and I think too, they talked about, I don't know if you saw that video where basically like the whole who actually was involved with the JFK stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started, dude. Sorry to cut you off, bro, but
No,
this
you're
shit was
good.
funny as hell. Like my sister asked in like the family group chat, there was like some Palestinian protesters at her school, and she was like, "What's going on with this war?" And I was just like, I usually ignore those types of questions because I know people don't want to hear me just schizo post. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna explain it. And then I started just going off
it in autistic detail.
yeah, I started just going off about like who did like the JFK assassination, who did 9/11, and who killed Jesus, all these things. And then my dad was just like, yeah, we're definitely on a list. I can see why you got banned.
It's like the Homer Simpson meme where he's stepping back into the hedges. Like, okay,
He was like, "I'm gonna get my own private internet connection. This is out of hand."
getting a VPN tomorrow.
They know we know. They just don't care anymore. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, whatever. But Trump did say, he was like, they need to get a handle on this because the other side is doing better with their PR marketing. I said, yeah. People
Well, I mean,
up.
and that's the thing. I think even we played that video with Tucker Carlson when he said, what's the next step with Trump? And it's like, well, they've tried to indict him 3 times. They've tried to impeach him. Nothing's working. He's like, the only thing that's next is like the big A word, like taking him out. And he's like, that's scary but true. It's like, what else? What else is there?
What if Donald Trump came out and said like, they're gonna come after me, they're gonna try to kill me. If they do, we should have a revolution. Would that get him like put in jail?
Well, I mean,
I
probably.
I think it would get him put in jail, but
That's what they're trying to do now already. They're trying to say that he incited violence.
I don't think that it would matter because I think that people would actually wake up and go with their bare hands and try to break him out. He knows he still has that control over. I hate to use the word control, right? But there are people who are diehard. I think people like in the bushes who we don't even see, you know what I'm saying, on social media, who don't call radio stations, who just, anytime the Amish in Pennsylvania have Trump flags on their buggies, and that is real. Like I've seen it. Okay. You know that there's something about this guy, right? Because the Amish doesn't vote. They're not into this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
They figured we don't know who else to turn to as far as not God. They know to turn to God, right? That they know that. But as far as like to make a change in this country, a physical person. So there's something about him. And that's why I think when Tucker Carlson asked him that question, you saw he danced around it. He never answered the question. Because I think that if he would, I think he knew, like, if he says, like, yeah, they probably are going to come get me, people would right then and there be up in arms. I really do believe that. I do. Maybe not everyone would start something, but yeah.
The reason why is not like the reason why you think it is. Like, I'm from the Deep South, and the reason why people like Donald Trump so much is because the left hates him so much. It's literally just like he owns the libs a lot, really good, so they love him, and they know that they're going to piss off the left by loving him. So it's not like they know like he's the only politician that's not bought out by the like they don't know that shit. They don't care. Like they all got jabbed. Like trust me, like I'm around these people all the time. They all called me crazy for what I was saying about that stuff. Like I got called crazy so many times by those types of people. It's like they're not awake. They're just like own the libs, go Trump, MAGA. Like it's actually those type. Like the stereotype is true for a lot of these people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And now, I personally, I do think there's some aspect of the government, like we said, I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, that are still 100% like pro-Trump, right? Like I think, I'm talking like not deep state, but like Flynn was a general, right? Like he was, you know, he's very pro-Trump, but I still think there are people within the government that are in the military specifically that are very pro-Trump, but obviously they have to walk that line. I think if some of that stuff starts going left-handed or something like that happened, you may see where we've seen this in other countries before where, you know, you kind of have like a military coup take place or you have like a military kind of split and you have where the federal government versus like your essentially kind of like a civil war in that like, you know, National Guard versus your federal government kind of thing. So you never know. I mean, it's very.
We don't really want that though, because personally, I'm just like,
no one wants it.
Personally, I'm just like, let me chill. Like, just let me have these last 70 years of peace, and then y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want. I don't care what happens after.
I mean, I don't want that to. I don't think anybody wants that to happen. But also, at the end of the day, it's like you wouldn't have 70 years, Justin. You wouldn't have it. You would be. Look what they're doing now. Like we talked about earlier, the kill switches that they're doing in cars, right? Like they're putting any car after what was it,
2026.
2026. Every car made from that point forward is going to have a mandatory kill switch that the government can go in and. Huh?
How are they doing that? Like even non-electric cars? How would they do that?
Yeah. Well, I get they're also too. By then they want to. They actually, the Biden administration just put something in that they want to ban combustion engines completely.
Yeah, I saw that.
And New York, they're going to ban the sale of gasoline cars. I think by 2025. Like there will not be any more cars sold on a lot, brand new, that are unless they're electric. California's already doing that. So think about what's going to happen in, you know, say 10 years from now.
Yeah,
they'll just fucking ban gas.
As long as I can be like, just, you know, stay to myself, be peaceful. If I have to jump around in Puerto Rico, you know, something like that, just
go there.
Whatever.
The only sovereign place I think that will be left will be like Russia and maybe China. I'm not going to China.
The places that are literal fucking dictatorships, they'll be the only places of freedom.
And you want to know what? You know, it's funny, and now I'm going to sound a little Jackson Hinckley, but I'm not. But are we so free anymore? Like, you know,
we've talked about this for a long time. No, we've never been free.
Right. But like even in my lifetime, like in the 90s, I always talk about the 90s because that's when I was living in Florida. I used to see Confederate flags. I used to see like weird signs that said things that were weird, and life went on, you know, like, you know, it is what it is, right? Life went on. We didn't go home and cry about it. We just kept it moving, and it wasn't every day either, right? But now you can't say anything. Well, it's really about one group of people, but if you say too much, you can't have a bank account.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
I think it's even beyond that. Like, but even like way before, because what they say, like 19. Think about this in 1910 or 1912, something like that. You earned every bit of your paycheck. There was no income tax. There was no like that wasn't a thing. You could buy your house right now, cash, own it, everything. Right, that's yours. Boom, not a bank, no lien, nothing. Guess what? You don't pay taxes on it. They'll fucking take it from you. You don't own shit.
So I'm saying go to Puerto Rico, man. No taxes.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure
Isn't that like an American like?
It's a sovereignty of America, I think, or something like that.
Look at you there.
I know.
Yeah, but Puerto Rico isn't a shithole.
But I really
Not
be
if
thinking
you're-
about the things that you're thinking about, just so you know. So that's why I'm like, talking.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go to Puerto Rico when I'm broke. You know, I gotta be when I'm a multimillionaire. I'll go.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. You'll become a multimillionaire, and then the dollar will fucking collapse, and the dollar won't be shit. And then then what? Then they're gonna be.
You would
it'll
be smart
yen.
enough to put it in gold and stuff, right? And yeah, you're right about the yen. And I think that we should look at international like investing. I do.
We should just go back to the gold standard. If we went to the gold standard, we'd be all right. But I don't know.
In the meantime, so you know what, Justin? But like, really, this is what you said about being a millionaire. Like, yeah, I was like, it's good to think ahead to know like where this country is going. They are trying to de-dollarize us. I did start looking into like, how do I invest in Russia? I'm so scared, you know, because why?
They're the ruble, right? That's what they have is the ruble.
Yeah, ruble. And remember, Joe Biden told us back in what was this last year? The ruble's gonna turn into rubble. Oh yeah, we're gonna sanction Russia. The ruble's gonna turn into rubble. And what happened? What happened? That didn't happen. Russia
He literally is like Mr. Opposite. Everything he says is opposite.
Yep. Anything Biden tells me, I'm like, okay, so that's not gonna happen. So what do I need to do next? You know?
Yep.
And then Russia became an example for a bunch of other countries. Like, you don't need that American dollar. You know?
Well, that's what's funny is that was part of the reason why they took out Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, because they had massive amounts of gold, and they kept pushing long ago. They're like, we don't need the American dollar. We should go back to the gold standard. We own like all of the gold. Like they had more gold in the world than anybody else. And then interestingly, Gaddafi gets killed. And then we go into into Iraq, because remember, we were talking about earlier, like, well, why did we go to the Iraq war? Remember all those Americans sitting on all those massive gold bars from Iraq that we took from Saddam?
Yeah.
Wonder where that went.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So we know this stuff, so we plan ahead, you know what I mean, to be prepared. Like, my religion does tell me that there is a time where we are going to have to go back into the mountains. And I'm okay. Well, it has to be the mountains in Siberia or something, because when we go to the mountains here, you know, they still find you. So
I'll just play along for the next 60, 70 years, live my life, and then when my time comes.
We're going to have to revert back to the old days, you know, like no internet, no, you know.
Fuck, learn dude, it's going to suck.
I'd rather, honestly, I'd rather live that way at this point. I would.
You never went camping, Justin?
Like I have a camp, yeah, but we have internet and air conditioning and shit.
I would rather go back to
start a fire. Man, I already know you went camping. That was like a silly question.
I don't know how to start a fire, but my dad is literally like a actual like prepper guy. Like he's actually camping as we speak. Like he's literally out in the woods right now.
That's pretty cool. Now is honestly the best time to go camping is around this time of year when it's cool out.
Yeah.
Less bugs. You don't have to deal with ticks and all that nonsense. Yeah. Now's the time.
Wait a minute. You know your dad is a prepper. Wait.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Like whenever shit goes down, like my entire we got base camps like around the country. We're good. But I'm just saying, please.
You're so freaking chill, and I'm.
Yeah, he's like, I'll just live out to 70. I'll be fine. Fuck it. I got a cave up in North Dakota.
Like, well, because you know when shit goes down, you're like, peace, y'all. I'm going down to the.
For real, I'm getting like all my friends that have a lot of guns. We're all just gonna go gather in a camp and just hold it.
Can you see? You're gonna see Justin sitting in a camp eating squirrel.
Dude, I don't want to live like that, bro.
He's gonna make vlogging videos on how to cook squirrel. Squirrel's actually not that bad.
Ew, Matt, for real?
Nah, it's not bad.
Everything fried tastes the same. Like
yeah, it's like it's literally. I mean, depending on what it's like if it's obviously they eat nuts and stuff, so it kind of has like a nutty flavor. But I mean, squirrel's not bad. I wouldn't
like
eat
different
a fucking,
textures.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat a city squirrel at all. Like,
Oh God.
No.
You
Who
probably
knows?
get like fentanyl poisoning from.
Oh yeah. Them G. Floyd squirrels. Yeah.
I remember I used to make a big deal because people around here eat like fried alligator, and I was like, "Oh, that's disgusting." Then I ate it, and I was like, "It tastes the same as chicken. It's just like a little bit different
I heard
texture."
it did taste good. So was that the weirdest thing you ever ate?
Yeah, I am not adventurous. I mean, I eat like oysters, like char-grilled oysters. I count that as weird, but
I don't think that's weird. And Matt, what's the weirdest thing you ever ate? Was the squirrel? Did you have coon too? Like, I mean,
oh no, I'm not eating a raccoon. No. I mean, if I had to, I would, but that's like desperate.
You know what's disgusting that people eat like often around me that I would never fucking eat is like we go fishing and then we'll cook all the fish and they'll fry the fish heads and eat the fish heads the heads with the skin on them.
My dad eats that. Mm-hmm.
Bro, like that is so disgusting.
I've seen people make like soups out of them, but not like or like a broth or whatever, but not eat the actual head.
Nah, they eat the head, and I can't even watch them do it. It makes me want to fucking throw up.
Hey, if you're hungry enough, man, you're gonna be like, "This fucking head's great."
Yeah, right.
They're all fat. They're all fat. It's only fat people that eat that shit, man.
Or
they're not hungry. They're well fed.
What about somebody said iguana? Oh my God, Jesus! No, I think the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. I mean, goat. That's not that weird.
Jesus.
Goat's not that weird. No.
Goat's not weird. Yeah. Or conch. I've had conch. Y'all had that before? Y'all know what it is?
That's the thing from
snail.
SpongeBob.
Huh?
Nothing. Go.
You know what's funny? Because you said SpongeBob.
I did, yeah.
It's actually, SpongeBob.
Oh, it's a shell, isn't it?
The snail that's in the shell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that.
I don't eat. I can't. I'm not adventurous with the stuff that I eat at all. I can't.
I mean, but
I can't even stomach like raw oysters. Like I can't do it.
And then you know what? Speaking of just since we're talking all this, just whatever. That post, Justin, like what the hell did you conjure?
Oh my God.
I
don't even know why I tweeted that. I just woke up and I was like, dude, people that kiss their dogs are fucking disgusting. And then all of a sudden
that was gross.
I started seeing that go viral. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, and she was like going all in, and I'm like, why is this showing up on my of all the Palestinian stuff that I look at? And I'm like, why is there a random woman French kissing her dog on my
Oh my God.
I don't know. That's like I see that more and more now where it's like this like I don't even like people doing inappropriate things with their animals is like more, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Are we that bored? Like,
imagine what they do in private with the dog.
God, dude, I don't even know. And again, that's what kind of labels the channel so well. I see shit like that, and I'm like, yeah, bring the damn asteroid already, for Christ's sakes. Like, what?
Yeah,
what is going on?
Because this is too much.
Yeah.
The dog's getting more action than like 85% of males right now.
Sadly, that's true. And that's a problem. And this is why women are terrible, because it goes right back to that again, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, fuck women.
This one of like a Twitter connect, whatever, he was on Timcast or whatever, and he said like, women ethics suck right now. And then the girls who were on Timcast like going back and forth with him, I'm like, they're not making a good argument. They're making this point. Like, I don't know.
You're cutting out a little bit, Casey.
Am I? Can you hear me now?
Now you're good.
This is ridiculous. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, women suck. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the gist.
Pearly, real quick. So just to speak about real quick, a little nonsense. Apparently, just Pearly was trying to send Brittany Venti nudes to somebody else, and why is that girl still even like? She's so annoying with some of the stuff that she says. Y'all ever see her stuff on Twitter? No.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Oh, Pearl. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's just
such a-
she's just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah,
That's
she's
all.
an engagement farmer. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I
She
know.
had her 30 seconds of fame where everybody was all up on her shit, and then people started realizing, oh, she's a fraud like everyone else. I think the whole Nick Fuentes thing got her fucking hemmed up too, with not Pierce Brosnan, with Piers Morgan or whatever his name is.
Pierce Brosnan. That is funny. You was gonna call him that.
Yeah, it's Pierce something. I don't know, some fucking British goofball.
One of them Brits. Yeah. So
I don't trust any woman that's like a male rights activist. Like, dude, are you serious? I would never trust a male feminist. Why would I ever trust that? The only person I trust in that whole space is Myron from Fashion Fit. He's the only real one in that entire space.
Are they still doing their thing?
Yeah.
They're on Rumble now, right?
They're on YouTube still. They're just demonetized.
What's the point of that then?
Yeah, like because
they're just funneling everybody to Rumble, and like they're just using it for exposure. And then
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense. It's crazy.
You have to use YouTube, man. You just have to. That's why, like, whenever I got banned, everybody's like, "Go to Rumble, go to Rumble." Like, motherfucker, I need to make money. I'm gonna be broke if I go to Rumble.
Yeah, you'll get literally nothing.
Yeah, just no discoverability. Like, I hope they win, but as of now, it's not even a competition. It's not even close.
Yeah, the only way is if you are a paid, like, you know what I mean? You have some type of contract or something.
Yeah. Jake Paul by himself made more than Rumble last year off YouTube.
Wow.
I don't even think it was close. I think it was like double.
Yeah, Rumble's still not where it's at. F you, YouTube, because they know they still where it's at. Like, but
yeah, it's kind of tough now. Like, if you're owned by Google, like you're owned by the #1 search engine, not only are they going to get propped up, but then all the other competition's just going to get sent to the bottom. Like, you search something, like, it's going to be tough to come up on Rumble, and everybody uses Google, so it's just kind of like a lost cause, to be honest.
Yeah.
They can have all the top creators that they want. Like, they have a lot of the people. They have Steven Crowder, Andrew Tate, Sneeko, and they even have like the degen streamers, like, those guys. I don't even feel like naming them, but they have a lot of like Kai Speed and all of those people. Like, they all have shows on Rumble too.
God, they're so annoying.
Oh, their entire content is just loud noises. Like,
yeah, it's just that, and because they're appealing to this 30-second, what do you call it? Like, these kids that only have a 30-second mindset, so they have to be loud, they have to scream, they have to keep their attention, because if you just talk at a normal voice like you would in a conversation, kids, they're already flipping to something else. Like that one weird video, that kid, I think he's playing on his tablet, but then also he's flipping through his phone and he's going back and forth. I'm like, dude, this fucking kid is set for failure. Imagine him in a classroom doing math homework.
Sounds like a problem. That sounds annoying.
Yeah, he'll be great at a normal 9-to-5 job. I'm sure he's going to be a real productive person of society.
He's going to be playing Minecraft while doing his job.
Yeah,
he'll probably be a great multitasker.
And then that's how the planes go down.
It got so dark so fast.
I mean, because isn't it what it goes back to? Like, I mean, we just not even breeding these kids to do anything productive in this world. Meanwhile, back to Russia. They know how to make ammunition. These kids, they go into all kinds of science and math. Our kids know how to use the tablet and the phone at the same time while flipping backwards. I mean, I don't know, but hey. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find somewhere to go to eventually. I'll fight the good fight for a little while, but I'm older than you.
I'm not, man. I'm out. I'm tapped out.
I feel some type of way that you're tapped out, Justin. I don't want you to be tapped out. Like you're not even.
I'm not tapped out of like the game of life. I'm just tapped out of like trying to save a lost cause. Like, it's just gone. It is what it is. I'm still gonna win.
Right. No, I know you're not tapped out at the game of life. No. We need more. I don't know. Like, well, anyway, my vision for how to save this country, it is a very radical vision, but it's not happening because people are getting tired. So,
I don't know. Like, it's gonna work out. Like everything's just gonna work out. It always does.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, the pendulum swings back. But
Like I'm sure people have been thinking like the world's gonna end for the longest time. And it's just like things just move on. Like the world just continues.
Just don't be like Q and say it's all part of the plan.
who says that? Q?
Q, yeah.
Oh.
Fucking people are so insane. They're so crazy.
Oh,
What's
look at
up,
Copa coming
Copa?
up in here. What's up, Copa? We have been on for a little bit.
The thing is, like, people are just so people are so scared now, and I was one of those people too. Like, especially when the Russia-Ukraine war first popped off, like I was fucking scared. Like, I was talking about like the camps we have across the country. I was about to go to one and like get out of like, because I even looked up like the major like the target locations that they would nuke us at, like the military bases, and I was like, how can I get as far away from the nearest military base? And I was gonna actually go to like a camp so that I wouldn't get nuked. And I was just like,
that's smart thinking. And number two, y'all got that many camps just around.
No, it's like 3 or something, but it's honestly it's for hunting. It's not like for hiding out. It just so happens that it'd be good for both. Like they're for deer hunting. But
how many camps you got, Matt? This is white people stuff.
I don't have hunting camps. I mean, I have my parents' property I can hunt on, but I don't have.
You still have
camps.
some sort of way. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. This is why I say, like, I mean, this is why I'm trying to, tell white people, like, please be white again. Racist dude, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, in the 90s, there were so many, like, white folk who were proud to be white, knew how to, like, fight, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're ready to stand up for the cause and liberty and all of that. And it's just the truth. I say it in my channel. I'm like, the first people who would stand up to fight for the Constitution is going to be white people, and then other people will back them up, right? But it will be white people. And that's
funny.
that's a great thing.
It's funny you say that with the new military advertisements. They started putting all a bunch of white people back in it. It's like all the woke women's like, oh, let's take them out. We need white people to fight this now just in case.
Just in case. It looks serious. We need some serious soldiers to go save. Okay, right.
The thing is, like, what would I be fighting for? Like, I'd be fighting for something that I don't believe in. Like, what I would fight for is like, I would fight against the United States. Like, I would fight against the current United States and try to form my own shit. But I wouldn't fight for this country. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, it would depend. I mean, obviously, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, if they were like, oh, you need to go fight for, like, they sent troops overseas to Israel. It's like,
yeah,
no, you're out of your fucking mind.
And that's
not my problem, buddy.
I think it would start the Revolutionary War. I would be right there, like, oh my God, yes, like I'll be the nurse on the front lines helping y'all out. Like, seriously, like, for real. I don't shy away from saying this at all. I say this to my friends too. I'm serious, and they know it's true. I've said it. I'm like, who y'all think is going to pick up the first gun or sword to stand up for the Constitution? They're like, yeah, white folk. Yeah, white folk. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not saying that I'm not going to get up too, but it is a white person that, why do you think, like, it's not just an ideology. Like, this is how y'all are. Like,
I think it's just Southern. I think it's Southern. Well, I know a lot of black people who are Southern that would for sure. Right.
But the first man would be a white guy. It just would. And it's okay. It is. And that's why do you think they out here saying, the don't tread on me flag and all of that stuff is racism and all that, you know what I mean? Like, but y'all have a different connection to this country, and that's fine, right? There's people here who can backtrack their great grandfather who fought in the Revolutionary War. I think that's a beautiful thing. I do. It makes you feel you know what I mean? Like, we're here. We fought for this, right? I think that's great. And they're trying to take that feeling away from white people by calling it domestic terrorism. It's insane to me. That's why I'm like, yo, man. And I'm almost ready to write a book saying, like, the need for more racism. I'm so sincere. But it's just the way, obviously, I'm not saying that other racists, but I'm not insane, crazy things. But you get the point that I'm making, though. You do get it. And, I mean, again, how do you break down an empire from within? I'm telling you, man, you go back and you look at the of that Ruby Rich stuff from the 90s, and you see how these people were talking, they were serious. They didn't beat around the bush about anything. And that's cool. And guess what? There were black folk too, in the past, like in the 60s, who were serious too, who would connect with those white militia, whatever, if they had to go against their government. They did.
But well, we've been going about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right. I think might as well just go ahead and end it before the YouTube says, like, get them off. This girl's trying to start something. So, yeah.
Casey, you got anything to plug? Anything coming up on your channel?
I just keep pushing out videos, y'all. Just check me out over there. I'm just pushing out mad videos, and then I'll be going live on Thursdays. So,
what time Thursdays do you go live normally?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna start going live on Thursdays at 6. So I'll be
6?
off by 8. Yeah.
Perfect.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. Let us know. Promote it on YouTube. Promote it on YouTube and Twitter and all that, so we can get it out. That way, we could start hanging out, watching, and yeah, we've been watching your videos too. So if you're not subscribed to Casey, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're here. Go over there to her channel. It should be in the comments. Justin, what are you doing? Hey, it's hunting season. What are you doing? Are you out there trying to bag a deer or no?
I don't deer hunt, and I shot like a few deers when I was younger, and I was like, oh, I think I'm good. I fish. I like fishing.
Fishing is fun.
Deer hunting just doesn't do it for me. Like, I like shooting guns, but like, I don't need to go sit in a deer stand for 4 hours, like, to see nothing 90% of the time and then shoot one deer a fucking season. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. It sucks when you're cold as hell out there and we're just waiting around.
Dude, it gets miserable, bro.
Oh yeah, I've sat many times, and again, yeah, you could see nothing. Or the worst part is when you see one and you see a big bastard too, and you're like, oh, that's it, boy. Wait till you, and then you know what? He never gives you a good shot. He just looks at you, and you can't shoot because that's the one thing too. If you're an ethical hunter, you don't want to hurt them. You want to make sure if you're gonna kill them and you're gonna take its life, you take it for a reason, and you take it respectfully as much as you can. Some assholes out there just fucking does it. They'll shoot it like it's World War III.
Bro, one time I shot one deer. I know we're trying to get out of here, but it's just funny.
I want to hear this story. I'm not enjoying it.
Louisiana is such a crazy place, dude. Like, there's 15 minutes from like the nearest city is like hunting paradise, and then 15 minutes in the other direction is like fishing paradise. Anyway, we're just like hunting off this highway like that my great grandma owned some land off of, and I shot a deer, and we had to like go walk out to the truck and wheelbarrow it back to the truck, like a long ass way. It's dark, like very, very dark. It's the woods, so it's dark. All of a sudden we start hearing pow 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 pow, like 10 shots go off. We're like, holy shit, dude, we thought somebody was having a shootout. And then we saw some other people walking out. It was people that we knew. We were like, yeah, dude, a doe ran up on us. So we just unloaded on it with a fucking 9mm. It just,
oh my God.
You were talking about killing it in humane ways, bro. It was
idiots.
That thing was, you could not get any meat off that thing, bro.
No, not at all. And you know what? A 9 may not even kill the damn thing.
Yeah, it did because it was a small one, but if it was a bigger one, probably not.
No, it would just fucking mained it. I mean,
yeah.
There's a lot of dopes out there, and that's another thing too. It's really bad. It's like if you do get off a good shot, right? A lot of times they don't just drop. They die or they get shot and then they run for a little bit and then they'll die somewhere else. So you got to follow the trail. You got to wait because sometimes they'll run off and then they'll lay down and then they'll go okay, and then because they're dying and then they'll die. If you just go chasing off after them, they fight or flight, they'll just keep running and they'll try to get up and run away, and then you got to try to find it. Then sometimes if they fall on someone else's property, you got to go ask someone what you're supposed to, hey, can I come get the deer that I shot that ran on your property? And they can go, no. And then you're fucked and you can't get it anyway. So the moral of the story is don't ask, just go get it and run away. On
this, I'm enjoying the stories. We should have just had a stream on this, like deer hunting and like all of that. Like,
oh, dude, if I wanted to hunt, like I have family and friends who somebody just went to like Russia recently to shoot hunt bears. Like he just shot hunted bears in Russia.
I would love to go to Canada and do either like a moose hunt. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Or like Montana or something and do an elk hunt. But man, you have to be like the best shape of your life to get up and down those mountains and stuff. And then because you got to, depending on where you are, then you got to pack all that meat out, and that's like, tons of meat off of an elk. Like those things are massive. So you better be in some.
Would you eat the elk?
Oh yeah,
Dude, elk meat is good
and all kinds of stuff.
Wait a minute, y'all! I didn't know y'all ate elk too.
Yeah, you could eat elk. You could eat pretty much anything if you wanted.
I had deer. I have had deer. And
elk is like super deer. It's way better.
Yeah, elk is very, very good. Very lean meat. But elk's really good for you. Had elk burger before, and like the backstrap and stuff. Oh, so good. But
they're off.
And dude, hearing like the calls too. Like I've never actually went, but I've seen like the videos and stuff. Like them in, I guess in heat or whatever, in season, and they're screaming like that, dude. That shit is wild. I can't even imagine being out there and hearing that shit going. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. How y'all feel about like the people that hog hunt in helicopters, or like coyote hunt?
I mean, yeah, most of the time they're not doing that for meat. I know like it's such an invasive species, the hogs, so I get why they're doing that. Like they're a plague because they're destroying so much. Coyotes again depends. Like I've shot a coyote on my dad's property. It's like it's getting
hanging out a helicopter with a
Oh, that'd be cool, but no.
But I'll watch videos of it. And I'll see them like shoot like 3 in a row, and you just hear them whimpering like a dog. It's just so sad, dude. I can't do it.
The only thing is, it sucks. Like I said, the one that I shot like by my dad's property or my mom and dad's. It's just like I know what they're doing. Like they're slowly coming up closer. They're trying to get to the chickens, or they're trying to get to like my parents' dog or something. And at that point, I'm not going to let a coyote kill my parents' dog. Like, it's that dog's family, so coyote's got to go. Like, it's you or me, pal. And now I've seen like foxes before on the property, and I'll purposely, because I don't mind foxes, but they'll go after the chickens. So what I do is like I'll try to shoot near it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to kill a fox, but I'll just shoot around it, and they'll go. Normally, it scares them off pretty good. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I've had to kill a couple raccoons because they're pretty shitty too. Like they'll climb into the chicken house and fucking walk out with chickens in their hands. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's coyotes. Like I saw a coyote while I was jogging the other day, just like running down the street from me.
Yeah, and they just look like big dogs.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, when I lived in Florida, I used to see all kinds of them. It was like having a zoo in the backyard. I mean, all kinds of bobcats and mountain lions and just all kinds of things would show up in the back.
They got mountain lions in Florida?
Yeah. It was like, yeah. I know how that sounds, but yeah, it's like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because that land, I don't know, man. It just, everything was there. The snakes, the crocodiles, I mean, just everything, like everything was there. But I mean, it was an experience. Yeah, I remember seeing one that they run back in the house, but it was far away, Then we have big egrets and everything. So I did a little time in the South, but I didn't get to I know.
Did a little time.
I know, right? No, I enjoyed every bit of Florida, though. I did. Florida was amazing. I was so mad when we had to leave.
Yeah, I like fishing. Fishing is like, worst case scenario, it's peaceful. You just out on the water, like just chilling. Right. If you catch nothing, or you have the time of your life and you just catch a bunch of fish.
I'm not great at fishing, but I enjoy it. My brother is really good at it. Like he's on it, and
like bass fishing.
Yeah, like he wants to get a boat, but he has a buddy that they'll go out on a boat, man. And because he's in North Carolina, so there's a lot of big lakes there and stuff, man. He'll catch some pretty big bass. I'm like, he'll send me all these fucking pictures. I'm like, you bastard. Like, and I'm just not good at it, man. He learned just from hanging out with his friends that got into it real big. And I just go with like a fucking worm and you know what I mean? Like I'm not.
Yeah.
And I know there's all kinds of there's rigs that you could do, and they have like the little frogs that you could pull and all that, and there's all kinds of stuff and jigs and everything that you can get, but I'm just not I'm not versed enough into it But I like it. I enjoy it, even when I know like I don't catch shit. It's just nice to go.
Yeah, just being out there is just nice.
Yep.
I went to. They have this guy. His name's Gary Yamamoto. He invented like you're not gonna have any idea what I'm talking about. But he invented the Senko. It's like a plastic worm that everybody uses now. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, we went. He has a ranch that you can go to and fish, and it's just like 7 ponds just stocked with like gigantic bass. And we went there. I caught like a 7-pounder, and you can't keep it. You have to throw it back because he wants all the big ones to stay in.
Yeah.
But I got like a bunch of pictures of it and modeled it and like got it. I don't know what you would call it, but like ceramic version of it. Basically.
Yeah, like a mount, but it's just a
fish.
like a 3D printed one.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest experiences ever because I'm not used to seeing like fall trees. Like I know that sounds insane, but when I go up north, it's everything's green here still, and it will be like all through the year. So when I see stuff like trees with no leaves or like orange leaves on the trees, so cool to me.
Oh yeah, that's how it is here now, man. It's just everything's falling off and dying and starting to get cold and yeah.
Like Pennsylvania is beautiful around this time with the beautiful like reds and oranges and everything.
Yeah,
outside of Philadelphia when you're going up to like Western PA.
Yeah. I remember when I went to Washington D.C. in like middle school. I remember the plane was like about to land. It was around Thanksgiving when we went, and everybody in my class saw like the trees and we're like, "Oh my god! Like look how pretty it is." And I've only seen snow like twice in my life.
You ain't missing out on that.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
dude. I remember, dude. Oh man, I got checked out of school one time because of the snow. Best day ever.
You had what happened? You got to get out of school because of snow?
It was like barely snow, and everybody's parents came and like checked them out of the school. Like a school didn't close; it just checked us out because it was like a once in a lifetime experience. We got to see snow.
In Louisiana, this happened?
Yeah, when I was like 5th grade or 4th grade or something.
Dude, growing up in New York, there's like a blizzard, and they normally they wouldn't even close the school. You still got to go. Like they only closed it one time where it was like 94, and there was it was like the massive blizzard of 94, and they closed it for like.
Wasn't that was 96? Yeah, because that's when I moved up north. I moved up north just in time for the blizzard of 96.
All right, so it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was either 94, 96, and it was 90s for sure because I was in grade school, and I remember they closed the school. We were playing like football in the street and everything. I remember cars getting stuck. But they had schools closed for like maybe a day or two, and that was it. Other than that, it was like, well, back to school. It's like, well, you can't even see where the parked cars are. Like we're literally walking on parked cars. You had no idea. It's like, all right, I guess we're going to school.
Dude, if it rains and then goes below freezing around here, everything's just closed. Like nobody knows how to drive on like iced roads. So we're just wreck if we have to go anywhere. Everybody just wrecks.
I did see that in South Carolina one time. It did like this really, I mean, like it was so transparent, the snow, and the amount of traffic that they had from it and just the confusion, and they had to shut down stuff. I was like, dear God, like this translucent snow, like it was just hilarious. But no, I just pray that it doesn't come. I'm like, I hope that global warming has taken enough effect that it just doesn't come, because I hate driving. I can drive in it. You just have to have common sense and know how to drive in it. But I hate doing it. Absolutely hate doing it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the other people driving like maniacs.
Yeah.
Like I remember years ago I was on my way home and I had my short bed Dodge pickup truck at the time. I'm 4-wheel drive, and I mean it's snowing fairly bad. And I'm driving, on the interstate doing probably about 50, 45, right? And a Mustang blows past me, and I'm like, I'll see you in probably about, 30 minutes or whatever. Kid you not, 30 minutes later, I saw him on the side of the road in an embankment, and his entire front end was in snow. Like you could just see from the driver's door back, and he was just, it's like, why would you think that's a smart idea?
Yeah.
And like a 2007 Mustang. Like, what's wrong with you?
Like, that's not even the kind of. I don't know why people start showing off like that.
Well, they pay the hard way.
Basically. Matt, he cracking me up with the straightforward, like, well, they pay the hard one.
No, I mean, that's all you can do. Fuck them.
One last question. What kind of fish, like down south Louisiana, what y'all have, like a bunch of catfish or something? Like that is
Everything.
so
Literally, like, I don't know if this is common or not, but it's basically like we have a lot of salt water, a lot of fresh water, and then a lot of brackish water, where it's just everything. Like you can literally catch bass and redfish in the same place. Like you can. There's also like porpoises like surfacing around you. Like it's pretty cool.
That's
that is cool. Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me the first time. I was like, "Is that a fucking whale?" I was a little kid, and it was like you could see out into the Gulf where we were, and I was like, "Is that a fucking whale, dude?"
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man.
Yeah. We in Florida we used to get a lot of grouper. Y'all got that? Y'all ever have grouper?
No.
Groupers?
Oh God, no, I know, right? No, I know. You're like, God, you even eat grouper cereal? No, grouper fish. Oh,
yeah,
so good. Like it is. You know how they be like, oh, the chicken of the sea is too. Like, no, grouper is just so good. Like, just nice, strong, just so good. But I haven't had it since I left Florida. Like, and I still can taste it. That's how good it was. But yeah.
Never had that.
You can't really beat seafood if you're living on the East Coast, man, or something like, Florida, like, or New York or something like that. Like, the seafood is just so good back in the day. Or I can even, probably California too. I can't even imagine. But
yeah, New York did have good seafood.
Seafood's good down here too. It's just very, very greasy and pretty much all fried. So.
I was just saying, yeah, they fry everything, right?
Yeah. So it's still good, but it's very, very unhealthy.
That and crawfish.
Oh, I love crawfish so much, man. I love it.
You like crawfish?
Yeah, it's so good.
I liked it for 2 seconds, and then I just
I don't
got
eat the poo.
out.
No.
Huh?
No, we don't eat the poo. I don't eat the poo. A lot of people eat the poo.
They eat the head and everything, don't they?
Oh, they suck the head.
Yeah.
I don't do that either.
Demonetized. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't do that shit either. I'm just a normal human, I just eat the meat and then I'm like, that suffices,
Yeah, I'm not gonna I'm gonna get into this eye socket. Like, no,
yeah,
like, I'm not that hungry.
Yeah, right.
Right. You said there's enough meat, right?
Yeah.
Let
me chew on its antennas.
It's like, I don't know. Like Haitians eat the bone marrow of chicken and shit. Like, and I'm like, why? Like, like there's enough meat. And it's not just Haitians who do it. I think like Vietnamese people do it too. But and I look at my dad like, what are you doing? Like, there's more chicken in there.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, this isn't red alert. We're good. There's plenty left. We're not.
Okay.
Yeah, people down here do some nasty, actual road. What do you call it? Like runts? What do you call it?
Roadkill? Oh no.
I don't know. Whatever you call raccoons and all of these things.
Oh yeah.
Not they're not if they're run over, but yeah, if they'll actually catch and cook raccoons and shit and eat them.
And possum?
Yeah, possum too. Yep.
That is so
not my family. Just to be clear, my family does not do that disgraceful shit, but people around here do.
There's people that'll eat literally everything. I mean, they don't care.
That's so gross.
If it's got a heartbeat, they're like, all right, I got soup tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, possum soup. Yeah, that is hilarious. Like, that is a serious stereotype. But
yeah, I'm not eating possum. Sorry.
Yeah, it is mostly African Americans, I'll say.
Oh man, we can't escape nothing. I should have known. Look, I was getting hyped. Like, yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of white people that are eating possum.
Dude, 100%.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
It's only the niggas do.
It's like the hills have eyes. The blue people, they're sitting there eating the chicken feet and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. That's very common. Gumbo is so common, and I don't even eat that shit because I'm like, I can't see what's in. I don't care if my grandma cooks it. Everybody talks about how good it is, Bro, I will find some random shit in there every time I try to eat it. Like all of a sudden, like I'm pulling up an entire crab, and I'm like, I thought this was chicken gumbo. Like, what is? Why is there a crab in here? Like,
why are there whiskers in here?
So I'm just like, if I can't see the bottom of the bowl, I'm not eating it.
I bet it tastes real good though. Like the sauce, that makes sense that there's a crab in the chicken gumbo. It gives it a flavor.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like I'm tired of pulling up random shit. Like I'll go eat Chick-fil-A. You know, I'll take my seed oils.
Like chemical chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of research into that seed oil stuff. I know we're trying to end it, but that stuff is like actually so bad for you. Like I'm trying to find ways to get around the seed oils without going broke, but it's so hard. Like,
you basically have to just like eat meat, and that's it.
Yeah, but like you have to like get the meat yourself, because even the meat that's like in the stores.
Yeah, they have
a lot of chemicals in
putting
them.
shit in it now too. Yeah, well, that's why you gotta go hunting. You gotta go and. You
know, yeah, but I got shit to do, bro. I can't hunt for all my meals, man.
Jackson on the call that all right, y'all.
I gotta
go get some dinner.
Get your own cow and get it butchered, and then eat a lot of ground beef for like the rest of the year.
I would like to live that life.
What's that?
You can order from like farms, like real farms. Like, you know, I know they gotta have them.
How? How do you do that?
Well, I know in Pennsylvania we have like Amish farms, and I think that they ship like down to wherever, you know, like, and they're Amish, so they don't use any of that crap on their meats and all that.
Yeah.
Even local farmers too. You can contact them if you have anyone local and just ask them like what their rates are, what cost is to have, you know, a half cow or whatever, and they'll tell you because they'll charge you a butcher fee and then whatever you're getting out of it. They'll say this is the type of cuts of meat you're getting. This is how many, I don't know, how much ground beef you're gonna get, how many sirloins you're gonna get, whatever.
Wait, so
and then,
whenever they sell ground beef, the farmers do that? Like the farmers ground it? Or do
they'll ground it.
Well, they'll have a butcher will do it. Like my brother, he had cows, right? And he had one put down and turned it, made into, he had called it's a mobile butcher who came out, put the cow down and, cut, like basically filleted the cow right there, took all the meat, brought it back to his processing facility, turned it into ground beef and whatever else he wanted. And then when it was ready, my brother went and picked up the rest of the, whatever his order was.
My mom used to grind her meat, so that's why I thought.
There's a grinder. I mean, you just like feed it into a
I didn't know if there was like certain parts of the cow that are made, like not made for, but are used for ground beef, or is it just any part can be used for it?
I'm sure there's select, like the lesser of the meat. Like you're not gonna take like your back, like the sirloins and the better cuts. They're gonna save that. You're not gonna turn that into ground beef. Like deer, like they say deer ribs. Like there's really nothing on a deer rib. But if you want to be technical, like if you want to be 100% and not waste any of it, you can cut the ribs out, keep them on the ribs, and throw them in like a stew, and the meat will fall off the ribs. Like you could do that if you want to. Are you going to get a lot of it? No, but if you want to be like completely non-wasteful, you could do that.
But yeah, they have like, I'm sure near you there's small farms that. Excuse me, they sell this stuff. Like that's what a lot of people are starting to do now. And actually, the more and more we're getting into all of this, photocopied meat, literally, it is best to go to a small farm. I mean, that's why the FBI was raiding them out here in Pennsylvania, but I think they're still running. So
how much is that? Like more expensive or less expensive than buying from grocery stores?
More money, but it's worth it. Like,
I don't know anymore. It's probably about. I mean, if you go and look at what meat is right now, the meat
that's what I was thinking.
Fucking skyrocketing. So
yeah.
I think prior it used to be more expensive, but now it's probably about the same. So
I think it's like either way, it's like it's worth it. I mean, even getting the milk from there and all that,
Yeah, y'all ever tried raw milk?
I think I had it one
I
time.
haven't, but I did. I watched this whole documentary on how like they're trying to ban it.
Yeah, I have a friend who only drinks raw milk.
Yeah, they said
I've
the
never
federal
tried it.
government is trying to ban raw milk and like make it illegal to sell.
That's
Why is
how they're
that?
trying to get the
So,
farmers.
well, normally, my theory is if the government's stepping in, then it's probably too healthy for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like, oh, we
It's-
can't poison people, so we don't want you to
Right.
sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen that movie? Oh my God, with Matthew McConaughey. This went somewhere else again. The Dallas Buyers Club, isn't that what it's called? The Dallas
It's
Buyers,
such a good movie.
isn't it? Isn't it? And it's real. It's true. Justin,
No,
did you
never
ever
saw
see
it.
it?
You should definitely watch it.
It's a good movie.
It's got what's his name? Jared Leto's in it.
Yeah,
I've heard so many people talk about it, but I've never seen it.
It's a really good movie.
It's like a really good movie, and it just shows you what the FDA is all about. They really just all about like, oh, we can't poison you, then you can't have this, like it's just a shame. It really is. So yeah, I don't abolish the FDA, abolish all of it, because all it
Abolish
is
the
is
government.
just, like it's all these agencies. They're just to just poison you and stuff. But it's
The only
funny
thing I'm
because-
scared of is like surely there's some kind of like process that goes on between like the farm and the grocery store that ensures like you're not going to get food poisoning and stuff from the meat.
You would think so.
Yeah, the process of adding hormones and extra antibiotics and all kinds of like drugs to the animal.
But is there a way that they can ensure without injecting all that shit? Because here's the thing, I might take my chances with the hormones so I don't have to throw up and stuff. I really hate food poisoning.
I don't know, man. I just figure like we used to live off that back in the day, and people were fine.
People were just
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
believe me, they are injecting the meat actually with stuff that could hurt you even more. Like, I mean, it's a bunch of stuff, right? Like I know it's a lot to like keep up with, but the market meat really is worse than the actual person who it literally is. Like how you hunt your deer and you
Yeah,
get your
true.
meat
I
and all-
do eat that all the time. So
yeah,
So,
you don't need them to step in and touch it at all. They just
right. It's not like you
know,
call the government like, yeah, I just cut my, I got my deer. Come.
that's
do
true, but it's
something.
like I think it's because like I see the whole process, whereas if I buy from a farmer, I don't know how they're treating that shit. Like,
well, and that's the thing. It was the way it was because it was being done in mass back in the well, still right. So if you ever read the book, shit, I fucking read it in school. Upton Sinclair wrote it, and it's supposed to be about the Depression and stuff, but it did the opposite, and it basically made people aware of like how horrible the working aspect is in like meat factories and everything, and it created like the FDA because it's like, oh, this is horrible conditions, and the meat's being treated poorly, and shit's falling in the meat, and who knows what, and so that's what created all that, is because they were trying to mass produce all this stuff. And there were no guidelines at all. They just didn't care. It was just trying to, people were getting their hands cut off, and it's like, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal. And kids were working there, so.
Damn.
yeah, I've seen like how they like kill chickens, like mass kill chickens. And
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I mean, but-
one thing to end the stream on real quick. I was talking about talking on my stream yesterday about this. It's very random, but who's the biggest simp in movies? So,
oh man,
you have
Like actors?
what's his name from Titanic? Jack. Right? Think of Jack's
Yeah.
story. All right, he sacrificed himself for Rose, or what's his name from Forrest Gump? Who's the biggest simp?
Jack.
Well, I've never seen Forrest Gump, so
You've never seen Forrest Gump?
no.
Oh my god, I would say Forrest Gump is absolutely the biggest simp in the world.
He had a mental disability. That's not his fault. He
Well,
looked at life
it's
differently. He
still-
had Asperger's or something.
But still, like all right, so he chased that girl Jenny through the entire movie, right? Jenny, like he would do anything for this girl. What does she do? She runs off. She gets like gang banged like all throughout basically her entire life.
Yep.
She comes back home. She sleeps with this retard one time to make him feel better, I guess. And then she runs away again, apparently has his child, and then she comes back and says, yeah, I have AIDS. and then she dies.
Yeah,
And then he's
died.
stuck with her bastard kid. Like,
But that's his kid.
well, that's so we think.
No.
We don't know.
Remember the end? They put their head. They did their head movement the same way. They were related.
That doesn't mean. If I was around someone long enough too, I'd start picking up on their mannerisms. There's no proof. Now, if he was retarded like Forrest, I'd say maybe. But I don't know. I don't buy it. She was. I mean, there was a hot dog down a hallway with Jenny. I mean, who knows what she's done?
Jenny had everything in her, all races, all kinds of people, like just.
And
everything.
think about it this way. So she went off. She slept with Forrest, had his kid, right? Then had to have slept with someone else because she got AIDS.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she told them, I don't know. They think I got some sort of cancer.
Yeah, I got cancer. No, you got AIDS, motherfucker.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you got the dick cancer.
But that wasn't her fault. Her dad was like, somebody said Jenny from the block. But her dad touched her, so like it made her.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's terrible, but that doesn't mean you should.
It's not fun that Justin has not seen this movie. Like,
I know you gotta watch. You really gotta watch it now. But Jack, so I don't think the reason why I don't think Jack is the bigger simp is because, I mean, I don't know. Like he didn't deal with.
He could have got on that thing. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos showing how Jack could have fit on the door with.
Oh,
her.
absolutely, yeah. You
And
could
she
have
was
shoved.
rude for not
He could have
trying-
shoved her off. I would have just been like, "See ya."
Jack
Adios.
also like stole her from her man, right? Like,
oh yeah,
maybe he wasn't too much of a sin. Yeah, he was like, you see, women, we always want a guy we have to.
it's always Leonardo DiCaprio too. Like he's always just stealing everybody's fucking girls in real life and in movies.
Yeah.
Well, she's with the loaded guy, right? The rich guy, and she leaves the rich guy for the peasant.
Yeah.
And then she steals from the rich guy. Right? Didn't she steal the jewel or whatever?
The heart of the sea.
Yeah, and then
or
that
something.
dumb old bitch throws it over the boat. What a
Threw it over
moron.
the fucking thing. Yep.
I would have choked her to death if I was those researchers and she had it. I'd be like, hang on. I'd have her committed right as soon as we get back.
Didn't she die right away afterwards though? She died.
Did she die? I don't remember.
Well,
I
that's
don't
what
know.
this movie insinuates, because then she goes back to the Titanic with Jack and everybody's there.
Oh yeah, it's like the flashback of her wife.
It was like all the dead people, the people who died, like John Jacob Astor and everybody was there.
Mhm.
Like all the dead people, like, oh Rose, you made it to the party. Like how creepy, right?
You know the whole conspiracy with the Titanic, right?
Yep. Because
Yeah,
you know I'm
so you
getting ready to
already
go there. You
Yep.
know,
What is it?
why do you think them people died trying to go down there and see it too much? It was like, all right, that's
Oh
enough.
no! I'm talking about the actual conspiracy of the Titanic.
No, I know the story.
Okay. Yeah. Like why?
Because it wasn't like the three richest guys were on there too, like Guggenheim, John Jacob Astor, and it was somebody else.
Yeah, everybody who was against the
Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve.
And the
And
Zion.
everyone who was supposed to be on it that was for the Federal Reserve didn't go. They
Yeah, I
all
heard-
had something come up and they were like, oh, can't make it. Sorry. And then the ones who were like that, they were like the main people stopping the Federal Reserve from occurring were all on the boat. And then the boat dies. And then the person who owned the boat got a massive settlement out of the insurance claim from the Titanic. And then right after the Titanic sunk and they all died, they created the Federal Reserve, and then right after that, World War I kicked off.
Oh, Zios.
The stars align, right?
Mossad. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's the truth. And Stu Peters, he was like, he had somebody on there who was like, they don't want people to keep, because remember the little Titanic ship that
Yeah, they don't want people going down there.
Yep. Now, first of all, you know what? Real quick, Matt, because y'all are saying like they got us distracted, and there's things going on. If that wasn't the biggest distraction ever, they had people counting down the oxygen tank on tin can thing that they knew they already blew up.
Oh, they were dead.
Like,
not even 1 second. They just turned it. They're like a zip tie.
Yep. They said they were like, oh no, yeah, we heard it like blow up on Thursday.
Yeah, we knew they were all gone like a week ago, but we didn't want to say anything because we were in waters we probably shouldn't have been in, and we were spying. So, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so y'all blew up the ship because there's a big blast site on the side of the freaking Titanic, and y'all probably really don't want people to see it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Justin. That's the other conspiracy that is they don't want people going down there looking at the Titanic because there's not been many people that actually.
They've been down there, right? Like before that one exploded.
They have, yes. Tests. And there's
they went down a few times, but
limited amount of people that have been down those depths and can see it, but they don't want a lot of pictures and everything of like the wreckage area because they said that they don't want it to be basically shown that, oh wait, this didn't hit an iceberg, it was like there was an explosion, because if it hit an iceberg everything would be going inward versus outward.
So you wake up one day and you're just like, so everything y'all taught
is a fucking phony.
Everything.
It's overwhelming. That's why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go watch Ghostbusters. Fuck this. I don't care. I'm gonna watch them catch ghosts because I am losing my mind.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And then at some point, sometimes I'm like, turn it off, Casey, and just walk away.
Yeah,
because I could get to the point where I'm like, fuck y'all.
It's too much. It's
too
much.
I found myself getting to that point too. I think it was kind of a blessing that I got banned. Because now I can just not. I literally unfollowed every single person that talks politics that I'm not like actual friends with. Everybody, I just unfollowed them all because I don't care.
Well, that's why I laugh about the pop culture stuff, because at least that's stupid.
Oh yeah. Wait, before I forget, dude, we gotta film a skit. We could literally just go viral every single time a new movie comes out. Let's just go to a movie theater and like give a review of like a woke movie. Like say the same thing that they say every single time. And every time a new movie comes out that's trending, like the Marvels, we can just release the same fucking skit and then we can go viral.
Have you ever seen Red Letter Media?
Yeah.
They kind of did the same thing, that Rich whatever, where it's like Rich reacts to whatever, and it's this. They just did the same video of him sitting there with no emotion, and it's the trailer playing of a different movie. They do it every time of all these movies, and it's fucking hilarious, and it gets like millions of views, and it's just the same video.
That makes sense though. I mean, people clicking to watch it, so I mean, why not? Like, take 5 minutes out and.
Well, it's just funny because, like Justin's saying, we all know what they're gonna say.
Right.
It's woke garbage. It's blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right.
They made the man look stupid. The woman had too much power.
Yeah. It's like, well,
stop watching, retard.
You
stop
spent
watching
the money. Especially when that was the thing I said.
It's been
yesterday.
7 years now, and you're still fucking watching it all.
That's what I said yesterday. It's like there's, you could sail the 7 seas and just pirate it at home or whatever. Like, why would you go to the theater? Like.
Yeti somehow sees every movie like 5 seconds after it comes out, and he never goes to the theater.
Oh man, I need that connect.
Well, he's watching it on like Cam, so
yeah,
I can't watch
shitty.
Like that.
It's shitty versions, but
certain people can like handle that. I would rather just wait like 3 months for the movie to come out.
I end up, and then it's funny. I say that I'm like, oh, I'll wait, I'll go see it, and then I forget whatever movie I said it about. So, your live stream was hilarious though. Real quick. That situation with Rippa and the other guy and everything, I was like, damn it, I wish I was on right now. I could not believe what I was listening to. I'm like, these people are crazy. Like, and like that he was threatening people. Like, you were threatening people on the DMs about, I'll have your channel taken.
Yeah, it was. Then I looked more into it too, and I found another clip which I wish I had on that stream. And Casey, if it's ever a topic like that and you want to come on, just shoot me a mouse, send you the link to get
like,
on.
Oh man, I kind of.
I would absolutely, yeah, like you could absolutely jump on. But come to find out, the whole point was when Dick Masterson and all them were attacking him and all that, he basically reached out to a lot of the indie creators and were like, you need to back me up on this and you need to support what I'm doing. And that's where it was just like, you're either with me or you're against me kind of thing. And that's where he messaged, EVS and was like, you're not as big to indie comics as you think you are. Like, if you don't support me with a lot of this stuff, because EVS is actually kind of friends with Dick Masterson in a way. Like he's known him for a while. He's been on his channel and stuff. So that's why, Ripple was trying to like, I guess, prop up as much against him, which I like what he's doing, but hearing all that is kind of fucked up. But
I'm sorry. When you kept saying gay drama, I was like, that's what it sounds like.
Oh, it is. It's like, yeah.
This is too much now.
Imagine being that old and you're like, and again, you're dealing with like, these people have a lot of money. It's like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. It's so sad because I saw Ripple tweet something today, like, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't know when it was, but I saw him tweet something like, we went up to like 850K or something like that. Y'all must have got paid today. And it's like, these people are actually waiting, like they're living paycheck to paycheck and they're waiting to get paid to buy comics that they're probably not going to ever read from a person who is threatening other people in the DMs that they better they're doing it because they think they're like trying to fight for some cause or something from a dude that.
Well, and that's what the detractors are making fun of them about. It's like, oh yeah, they're because you know how Ripa says like, we will win. He says that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're like, yeah, we will win, meaning I'm going to be rich.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to win, is you're making me rich. Like, I don't know. It's just odd.
I mean, like, let's keep it all the way funky. I mean, like I said, I'm definitely not the same person I was 2 years ago. There's always a change in evolution or whatever. Anyway, I had bought a shirt because I knew I was not reading a comic. I was like, I'm not going to read a comic, so I'll buy a shirt and support that way. But it was like to support because I'm like, yeah, parallel economy, we can do this. Da 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 da. But then you hear these things like, yo, bro, like we need to humble ourselves, like for real. Like you don't go telling people like it's either me, you're with me, or them, or what's going on? What happened to you? Like you're becoming the thing that you used to speak against during the COVID mania and all that stuff. Like you're becoming like
well, people are treating him like God. Like actually, like on Twitter, people are fucking treating him like God. That's what happens.
And they get an ego trip. And it just and like a lot of them are all the same way. They're acting like, if you look at it, even the other guy, the As guy or whatever, they act like they're some special somebody, and it's like, you're just a fat dude at home with a camera talking about fucking Marvel. Like, you're not anything special. Like, no, your opinion doesn't matter more than anyone else's. And you act like, and you make yourself look like an idiot screaming. Like, it's very strange. It's very odd. And I just don't, a lot of these people need to get knocked down a peg. And I think eventually it's going to happen because not to get into the pop culture shit, but Marvel just pushed everything back. Like, they're going to have one movie next year. One Marvel movie, 2024. What are they going to
make videos about?
One too many.
And one too many. But it's like, if they don't have content, if that shit doesn't come out, they don't have nothing to report on. You know, they can't do their little reviews and cry about pronouns and all. It's like, so whatever.
It's something, man. It's like I think their fans are just addicted to.
They are. Like we run into a couple of them now where it's like, if you're not talking about, like, I've lost a couple people because I'm like, I'm not talking about Star Wars. It's fucking gay. I don't care. And people were just like, okay, and they're like, they don't watch channel as much anymore. It's like, it's fine, I don't care, but it's like, I can't. I gotta talk about other stuff. I can't.
I think. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you
off.
Oh
no, you're fine.
There are certain people who just want to do what they are expected to do, or listen to what they think they should listen to, or whatever. Because I think I'm losing a couple people because of my position or of value. It's not about sides of value. Like I'm always going to protect the First Amendment no matter what. Period. So ended or whatever. But there's still a lot more people who just want just genuine, real commentary. no disrespect to Ripper, like that's what's up, everything that he did. But I did stop watching his channel when not that it's just me, but I did stop watching when every episode was about ISAM, and I was like, I'm not that interested.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's great, but I'm not that interested.
Yeah, it's hard to, and that's the thing. I think, I read a tweet the other day about it, and it was like EVS said like YouTube is just, it puts you down a path, and you gotta do certain things to stay relevant and to or to maintain your audience that you create if that's it, and or to stay with the algorithm because you are you are stuck to the algorithm in the sense of like topics, like if you like where you Justin, this, if I started to do positive reviews tomorrow only, like I told
Nobody
you
would
that.
care.
Yeah, I get hit every time when I do my Halloween reviews. My views are, whatever, but I enjoy it. I don't give a shit. Like it's fun for me. And I will find the people who appreciate that over time. It's going to take a lot longer, but I have a set few that like that, and more people will. And I've had people find my channel from that, and it is what it is. But if I want to, grow my channel really, really quick, I'll pump out 6,000 Brie Larson videos.
Yeah. That's why I tell everybody, man, it's like you just have to make a decision right now. Do you want it to be a business or do you want it to be a hobby? And if you want it to be a business, you just have to let go of what you want to post and just post what people want to see. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think eventually, like if you keep doing it over time for a long period of time, you can do what you want to do and have fun, and it will grow because you will gain the traction eventually. It just takes a hell of a lot longer to do.
Yeah.
It's just like right now, if Nerdrotic started talking about a lot of positivity stuff, I think he's such a massive audience and such a strong fan base, he'd be okay.
Yeah.
He would be okay because he's built that over time. But if, like me right now, if I only did positive reviews, it would take me literally
You'd be starting from zero almost.
Yeah, it would be years for me to build back up all over again, even with the subs that I have now, because they don't care about that. So that's why I just kind of do a mix of both. I'm like Pops. I'll cover what I like, and then I'll make fun of the things that are stupid, and it's a good match. And some things do better than others, and if they do it, great, and if they don't, well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why like YouTube has always been like, even though I do I don't lie, like I've always shared my true opinions on things, but YouTube has always been a business to me. So it's like I'll always say my true thoughts on stuff, but sometimes like I don't want to. Like like when I post a video, it's like I don't really want to talk about this, but if you really want to hear what I have to say about it, I will, because it's always been a business, and that drove me insane. Like when I took like a whole year off, I was like, I just can't do this shit anymore, bro. Like it drove me absolutely insane.
Yeah, there's sometimes like, there's some videos that, and that's the thing, like I sometimes I don't want to talk about certain topics, and I don't want to feel shoehorned into that. So I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. I just don't fucking care. And you could tell like when I do videos that I feel like I don't want to do, but I'm like, I just got to get a video out. The quality sucks because I'm like, you know what I mean? It's just not as fluid and normal, where if it's something I'm passionate about and I actually have an opinion on, then it's a lot easier for me to make a video versus something that's like, oh yeah, well, fucking, Brie Larson's feet, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But your Marvels video was really good, though. You had the music and everything playing in that joint. I really
Oh,
liked it.
yeah. Like, I'm trying to do a little bit more editing to make it funny, just to kind of, it takes a little bit longer to do when you do that shit, because I'm a one-man show. I got to do the thumbnail, then the recording, and then the editing. I don't script anything. I just speak off the top of my head. So,
right.
Dude, I used to, when I first started making Star Wars videos, I was scripting every single word, and I was recording every line multiple times and like cutting out for like 15 people to watch.
That's what's up, though. But damn, that's a lot. But that's what's up.
Every single day I was posting too, 7 days a week. Never took a day off.
Damn.
I loved it though. It was never like, I never felt like a chore. Like I knew I was grinding towards something.
Well, and you were talking about something that you really loved and enjoyed.
Yeah, I can't believe I used to like that shit.
Isn't it crazy?
I mean, that's what's. I mean, there was something to like back then. I used to be so marveled out that like I had to be there Thursday night at midnight to see the next Marvel
Dude,
movie.
I watched Endgame like legit 12 times in theater. Like,
oh man, you 12 times. I was 6. I thought I was the only crazy person. Yeah, I was 6 times. Like, yeah, and I had to have the shirt to match the theme of which one am I seeing now? I have to get a Captain America shirt and everything. And it was fun. It was a good time.
It was an event. That's the
Yeah.
cool thing. Like there are times in our lives where we've had those pop culture major events that you're able to be a part of, and that's fun because everyone feels like they're part of the same thing, and it's nice. Now everything sucks. So
yeah, that was like the last that was like the nail in the coffin year. Like I think Endgame was not like Endgame was good, I think. But now I can't watch Endgame now. I don't give a fuck now. But like 2019 should have been such a legendary year because we had episode 9 of Star Wars and Endgame in the same year. And it just like Star Wars really killed it. they ruined it.
It's like I couldn't. You're right, because I was looking forward to that episode 9, and then it came out, and I was like, "What the hell was this?" But I didn't know there was a whole community of people who felt the same way I did. I didn't think about YouTube at all back then. That's just funny to think about, though.
Yeah, that was
the last. Yeah, 2016 and 17 were the years that really sunk all the. Because Ghostbusters 2016 started it where people started freaking out, and then 2017, The Last Jedi, and that was it for me. Was it the last? I think that was the last Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters.
Have you watched Rise of Skywalker yet?
No. I will not.
You didn't watch it? Good for you.
Fuck no. Hell.
Good for you.
Hell no. I will never.
Come on, dude. You got to do a reaction video.
I haven't watched that. I never watched Solo. I have noticed, like, I just don't see a point.
Yes, there's no point in watching Solo.
I do want you to watch Rise of Skywalker so you could talk massive trash. Like I kind of do.
Oh my god.
Solo is literally like a Marvel movie. Like nothing really happens, and then Darth Maul shows up, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, Darth Maul!"
Oh, Han Solo, yeah, or Solo, whatever.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
But Rise of Skywalker. I'm telling you, I remember I openly was like watching the last, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like I said that out loud in the theater, and other people were saying it too. Like I remember walking out, and people were like, Did that just happen? Like, what the? I remember someone talking about like Mary Poppins when what's her name was flying through space. Like, it was just a fucking complete shit. That was the day where I was like, well, it's over.
I personally, I don't even think The Last Jedi is that bad. I'm not gonna lie. I think The Rise of Skywalker is fucking horrible.
Horrible.
Oh, I'm sure it's worse.
And
the Last Jedi at least had cool moments, like when Snoke got cut in half and Kylo like pulls a lightsaber and then Rey catches it and then they fight. That's like a cool like throne. Like the fight scene was cool. I know that they had breakdowns of them. Like
yes, the breakdowns are bad, but in the theaters when you're doing it quick, it's like whatever.
Yeah, and then like they had the cool scene of like the ship exploding, like running into the other ship. It was like cool visual stuff. The Rise of Skywalker's just dog shit.
The part when they use the jump to light speed and she shoots through the fucking ship. You know what I'm talking about with the Holdo, the pink-haired lady. And then the casino scene, all that shit.
That was bad. That whole
god. Like I was just like, what is going on? And then Luke Skywalker, he's the whole time just some type of figment of his imagination, basically. And then it's like he was taking a massive shit on that rock, and then he died on the shitter. Like he Elvis Presley'd himself, basically.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because we were. I think isn't that the one when I was waiting for him to like have? Wait a minute. It was The Last Jedi, right? And wasn't there one in between The Rise of Skywalker and that one? Am I tripping?
No, that's The Last Jedi. It was Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and then
right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And and me and my brother were like, oh my God, man, Luke, they're gonna fight with Kylo Ren, and it's gonna be like really, really good because Luke Skywalker. And did like two like moves where he, like backed up and then backed up again, and then it was over. And I was like.
And then it was just a fake. He wasn't even fighting anybody. He was sitting on a rock.
He was sitting on. Now I remember what you mean, sitting on a rock taking.
And then he slowly just disappears and he's dead.
Yeah.
He's gone. And then Ray holding up all the rocks. Remember at the end, she's like saved them all because they were chasing after him, and she closed off the path with all these. I don't know. It was fucking
It was some
stupid.
weird, yeah. And then the Rise of Skywalker was just annoying. It was just annoying. I was like she was healing the creature. I think that was when I started to realize like what the fuck is going on here. Like she's like, wait, and she put her hand on the creature, and then she was like healing it, and I'm like, hell. Like, yeah.
Oh, the force heal, yeah.
Yeah, she's. I was. I've never seen. He was like, she's a girl. She can do it.
Well, you know what's crazy is like the Mandalorian first season was airing at the same time that movie came out, and the Mandalorian episodes came out like on the same day the Rise of Skywalker was supposed to, and they moved it up to Tuesday. On that Tuesday, Grogu used Force Heal, and then Thursday, the Rise of Skywalker came out, and Rey used Force Heal. They moved up the Mandalorian episode to show Grogu doing it first
to justify it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I wasn't watching the Mandalorian, so that's funny that they did that. But for a normie person who just wasn't watching and just knew that these things didn't happen, I was like, this is weird.
That's 90% of the problem with all these, even the Marvel shows. It's like no one watches that shit, and then they're gonna put it in the movies, and it's like I don't know what you're talking about.
I guarantee you what happened was they were like, this is not going to go well with people, and they had to like shoehorn it into the Mandalorian episode just to
justify it. Yeah, but no, see, it's because they programmed all their little bots on Twitter to go on there.
That's how they
So no, I was on the show, so you're not a real fan. You didn't watch the show. You're not a real fucking fan. If you were a real fan, you would have seen it.
Yeah, what? I'm like, people like,
Fucking
yes,
psychos.
Yeah, like what? No, that is not real. That never happened before. Okay, and I'm not even a Star Wars big fan, but even I knew. I was like, what is she
Yeah, and then
doing?
there's some people like, well, the Force Heal was in the video game. It's like, yeah, well, how many fucking people played the video game? Not a lot of people. Not your average Star Wars person is playing video games.
Oh, they probably like even harder. Like James Cameron talked about thinking about making a Force Heal back in like 76. Right? Like, bruh, it's not a thing. Okay.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're at 3 hours and 11 minutes.
Yeah, we did. Wow, I haven't done 3 hours in a long time.
It's been 3 hours. This is probably my longest stream, I think. I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah, it was fun. Let's do this again soon. Let's not wait another month, and hopefully we don't start World War IV tomorrow. So
we're already on the fourth one.
I mean, well, remember Justin? Was Justin on the stream? Justin,
yeah, he was. You were here the last time, weren't
you?
you,
Yeah, you
Justin?
were here the last time.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We were talking about the Jays as usual, and the next day, Israel was under
all
attack.
the invasion happened and all that.
Yeah.
Literally, it was the next day after our stream when all that took place.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we bought the asteroid. We've been very proud about that.
But all right, everyone. Thank you all for anyone still listening to this. Appreciate you hanging out with us as long as you did.
Thank you for coming to our group phone call.
Basically our little group chat, basically like our live Discord. Essentially is what this is. But thanks for hanging out. Thank you guys for jumping on too. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do this again soon. And I don't know, guys. Stay safe. You guys want to throw anything out there?
No, I'm good.
No.
Yep.
Justin, you want to sign us off?
Yeah. Bye.
Here, we'll do this. This is for all our government officials out there. See you guys later.
You are one dumb son of a bitch.